episode of this show.
That's dope too. You got the AirPods hanging.
I mean, they're definitely not AirPods. They're wired.
Whatever they are.
Yeah, no, these are like they give these to brokies. All right?
Yeah.
This is what I'm rocking because I don't have the AirPods. But yeah, no, this is a fresh blazer. How long have you had this? Is this new?
This blazer actually.
Feel free to gatekeep if you want to.
Oh no! It's actually the opposite of that. This is thanks to the beautiful fashion non-gapiness of Yusuf Magid. He wore this for Kind of Funny prom, and I was like, I am in love with this jacket. Where did you get it? ASOS, of course, is the answer.
ASOS.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm jacking your swag on this one, bro. Like this is happening, and he's like, I totally understand. So yeah, this is a Yusuf special, 100% of the way.
Now,
no one's surprised.
What's the plan for the weekend in terms of fashion and outfits? Because this is a conversation I was having last week. Well, I started off with Roger asking me, am I going shopping for Summer Game Fest? And I'm like, no, I got a closet full of clothes. And then him mentioning that he's going with Snow Like Mike to go shopping to get clothes for Summer Game Fest. And that, making me think, oh man, am I slacking? Do I need to step things up? And so yesterday I went thrift shopping and I picked up quite a few things. Usually I'm not a thrift store person. I'm trying to be more, environmentally friendly. And then also I'm trying to save my wallet because
of course.
Turns out if you buy a bunch of clothes from ASOS, that shit stacks.
It does add up. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's nice going through a shopping and then seeing a nice shirt and being like, all right, how much is this going to be? And it's $9. And you're like, holy cow, I'm going to buy this. That happened to me multiple times yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I got a refreshed outfit.
I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see all of us. You and Mike, everybody, like Greg. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
He had a plan. I don't think he's going to commit to it, but he did have a plan for fashion for Summer Game Fest. But I think it came together a little too late. But we'll see. We'll have to
What's
see.
your plan?
So my plan is I'm not going too hard. The Blazers are going to stay at home. That is definitely I'm trying to, for at least right now, that's a showcase look, showcase reaction look. When I'm down there, I'm going to do the normal Tim thing. I don't think there's going to be any outfit you haven't seen before. But the one difference for this E3, Key 3, Summer Game Fest, whatever you want to call it. Because usually E3 for me, that is my time every year. I refresh, I get new clothes. And like that's like the Tim Geddes summer looks. You know what I mean? That holds me out for the rest of the year.
It's like the new school look.
Exactly. I would treat E3 like going back to school, essentially. But now I was like, you know what? I have enough outfits and enough clothes. I don't need more right now. I'm feeling okay with like some of my new standard outfits. The problem is when I do these trips, I normally only take one pair of shoes because shoes take up
a lot of
Jordans
space.
take up a lot of space. And I was like, so I have to have all my outfits fit with that one pair of shoes. That's where I broke my rule this time. Bringing 3 pairs of shoes. I have outfits for 3 different pairs.
Way.
And I'm going hard.
Holy cow.
So much so that this jacket didn't match with any of those shoes, but it did match with these. So I was like,
look at this guy.
I wore these just for today, and I'm going to leave them at the studio.
And what's wild about that is the fact that people don't see our feet.
I know.
We're behind this desk
This
all
is
day.
for you.
Yeah, no, and it's working. Like, god dang.
Yeah.
You did it, Tim.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Tim, enough about fashion. Enough about our outfits. Let's talk about some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because today's stories include another tease about FF7 Rebirth, Final Fantasy IX remake rumors, and more, because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kinda Funny Games Daily. Remember, you can use Epic Creator Code Kinda Funny on all Epic Store and Epic in-game purchases like Rocket League and Fortnite to help support the channel. To be a part of the show, head to kindafunny.com/KFGD to get your questions read on the show. And remember, patreon.com/kindafunny will get you the show ad-free, plus a bevy of bonus content. Housekeeping for you. We're live reacting to Summer Game Fest right after this episode of KFGD, so stay tuned. We'll be doing some predictions and having fun all the way up until the showcase at 12 noon. Watch it live or later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. And Tim, speaking of that, what you got to say about Summer Game Fest and Amazon?
Oh, we are partnering with them. And remember, you can go to amazon.com/summergamefest all summer long to get all of the hottest games. You can pre-order things. You can buy the hot games that are already out. And that's kind of my thing with this whole Summer Game Fest season. Bless. Barrett and I were talking about this yesterday. This might be the least hyped I've been for a Summer Game Fest in a long time. And I think it's just because I don't need new games announced. There's too many games right now.
Yeah, we're
Diablo, Street Fighter, we got Final Fantasy around the corner. Zelda obviously is still something I have dozens of hours left to play. I'm just like, I'm a little stressed about this, you know?
I feel that.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, Anyway, Amazon.com/Summer Game Fest to get the games I'm talking about and whatever games we're about to learn about today.
Let's go. And then also, as a PSA, we're shutting down the RT store. So we've got hot merch deals for you. You can use the code KFGames for 15% off until the 10th. And that is leading up to us launch. I believe you've already launched the new store, right?
It is. The new store, kindafunny.com/store is there. So you have to go to roosterteeth.com. Store.roosterteeth.com and look for Kinda Funny. Yeah.
And use that code KFGames to get 15% off. And you got 2 days to do that. Again, that's up until the 10th. And then in case you missed it, there's a new episode of The Blessing Show up right now featuring an interview with Jeff Keighley, a game announcement, and a whole bunch more. It's a 16-minute video feature all about how to announce a video game, and that's available over on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. And then over on Patreon, a new episode of Remember Blank is up where we remember our favorite Xbox game showcase moments. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Casey Andrew, Delaney Twiney, and James Hastings. Today we're brought to you by Amazon, Shady Rays, and BetterHelp, but we'll tell you about all that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
Oh, Baker's dozen!
Starting with our number 1. We've gotten our 7th Twitter update on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yes.
And this is one that I've been balancing out through the week as we've gotten all these updates, because it started off with them being like, putting out a Twitter update of this Q&A style. When can we expect a release date for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? And then being like, we're working on nailing down a release date for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Very weird
news that's not news.
Exactly. And it went on over the week where they started getting even more non-newsy than that, right? Because okay, we're trying to nail down a release date. Okay, I can see how that's valuable information to me. And then they got to the point where they're like, what's going on with the story in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? There will be a story in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Will there be new music in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Yes, there will be new music. There will be new arrangements. It's like, okay, thank you.
So the 7th update, and I believe the final one, if I'm reading all the tea leaves correctly, and if I'm to believe all of what I've read in articles.
If you assume it ends at 7, because that would make sense.
Yeah, the final update reads like this. So this is from @FinalFantasy7 on Twitter. The question: when can I find out more about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Answer: more information will be revealed soon. So, again, that's all we get. Not newsy, but also kind of newsy, right? The idea of, we're going to see this soon. And this kind of comes off of a discussion we're having. I believe it was on a Gamescast earlier where you had mentioned that we've gotten all these updates. And when you look at the English translations, they're kind of weird. But when you look at the Japanese translations, there's something interesting going on where it seems like there's a secret message being coded. And it seems like maybe, just maybe, we're counting down to Summer Game Fest. I want to pull in this article from Catherine Castle at Rock, Paper, Shotgun, who puts it all in context for us. And so the article is titled, "Nope, You're Not the Only Ones Confused by Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Dev Comments on Twitter." Reads like this. Over the past 7 days, the Final Fantasy VII Twitter account has been tweeting some cryptic developer comments from members of the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth team. The tweets are all in a Q&A style format, and most of the questions have been fairly innocuous things like, will Final Fantasy VII Rebirth have original music? And has the battle system changed from Final Fantasy VII Remake? But the answers, at least on the English Final Fantasy VII Twitter account, have been downright baffling and have been promptly memed into oblivion. Things will happen to characters during the story, you say. No kidding.
Yeah.
But thanks to some clever internet sleuthing, eager Final Fantasy fans are quickly realizing that there's a lot more to these comments than meets the eye. Well, at least there is in the original Japanese versions of them. The English translation team clearly didn't get the same memo. Twitter user and frequent translator of Square Enix's Japanese social media output, Itaki Mochi, has been joining the dots between these daily developer comments in an ongoing thread since they first started appearing a week ago. On the face of it, both the Japanese Final Fantasy VII account and the English account are clearly trying to achieve the same thing. They pose the same questions and both highlight keywords and phrases in green to make them stand out. Or so it seems. If you start putting together the highlighted words from the Japanese tweets, they start forming another cryptic message, which fans think reveal hints about how Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will mess with the Final Fantasy VII timeline. According to Itaki Mochi's translations, they go something like this. Fix the timeline. Steep freedom. The whereabouts of destiny. Get ready, friends. Join force to fight. New tracks, rearrangements, very soon. Tim, what is going on with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
You know what's going on with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Bless?
What's that?
We're about to find out in just a few short hours at Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest live at the YouTube Theater in Los Angeles, California, in front of 7,000 screaming fans.
Let's go.
I don't think it's going to be 7,000. I don't know what the capacity is. It might be more like 2,000. Somebody let me know. I'm really interested in that number. But yeah, no, I'm super excited. We're going to get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth today, which surprises me. Last year, Final Fantasy VII had their 25th anniversary event. That's where we first heard about Crisis Core Remastered and also Final Fantasy VII Rebirth officially getting its title, officially getting its winter 2024 release date window. And I expected...
Next year.
Yes.
Because they never said 24. We can still
You're
theoretically
right,
get
you're
it
right.
in 2023.
Technically, it could be. But yeah, because they did say winter...
This year for Crisis Core, and then it happened.
Yeah. But like we've all assumed it's going to be as late as possible there. But I didn't think that we would get more from this anywhere besides one of two places. One, a Final Fantasy Square event themselves, or two, a PlayStation Showcase.
Yeah.
Right? So the fact that it wasn't there, I was like, all right, cool. Now's not the time. I especially didn't think we were going to see it anytime soon because we're so close to Final Fantasy 16. Clearly two very different projects, very different looks, different development teams, different directors, different legacy.
Almost might as well be different franchises at this point.
Exactly. That is so true, especially with the style that 16 seems to be going. But having said that, it's still Final Fantasy. And like, we might have split the core a bit here, but this is the equivalent of like a Mario Odyssey 2 and a Super Mario 3D World 2 coming out within 6 months of each other. It just feels weird, even though they're totally different games. There's enough similarities and then there's enough like broad market misunderstandings about Final Fantasy already.
I think there's also the idea of the people that play Final Fantasy 16 are the same. That's the same crowd that's going to play Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
And so to that argument, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Let's give more. Like I'm going to play both. Like I'm not going to get confused. So if for the people like me, speak to me, baby. Tell me something. I want to see it all. I couldn't be more excited for Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Another thing I want to say, we talk a lot recently about Ubisoft and kind of like, guys, find yourselves, like, where are you at? We talk about Capcom and like, wow, they've had such a resurgence, Monster Hunter Worlds, going through the Resident Evil remake, Street Fighter 6, like, Capcom is on fire. Square Enix, man, they used to be the butt of the joke. We talk about Cyberpunk and we talk about Anthem, we talk about Fallout 76, like these failed games, No Man's Sky, some of them, but the story, Rainbow Six Siege, they brought it back. Like, it started bad, but they got it there. They got it where it needed to go. Square for a decade was LOL, the names of these games are dumb. LOL, it's going to get delayed. LOL, I'll believe it when I see it. They've kind of brought the goods. There's still Balance Wonderland. There's still
there's
the
still
Quiet
all the weird
Man.
stuff that they
There's
put
still
out.
Forspoken.
Yeah.
There's still things like that. But who gives a shit when we're getting hitting quality? Like Final Fantasy VII Remake being as good as it is and 16 looking to be as good as it's going to be. I expect Rebirth is going well. And you look at these messages they're even saying, like that first one was like, hey, we got some info. Development's going hella good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a direct quote.
Exactly. That's what they came out and say. Development. They used the word hella. But yeah, no, like I'm right there with you in terms of Final Fantasy and like where it's at nowadays. Because I was somebody who I used to not be excited about Final Fantasy at all, right? I've not come up as a Final Fantasy person. The closest I've gotten is playing Kingdom Hearts 1 on my PS2 back in the day and really, really loving Kingdom Hearts 1. But like that was the closest I would get to a Final Fantasy. I would pick up a Final Fantasy game and be like, no. Nuh-uh, not for me. I remember trying to play 13, which is probably not one of the good ones to play, but I remember trying to play
13's real good.
Yeah.
Hate's going hate. 13's good.
I definitely got maybe 7-8 hours into 13 before I put it down, and that's not even an indictment on 13. That's just how I felt about Final Fantasy at the time. But over the years, I've been able to come in and jump in with Final Fantasy VII Remake and absolutely fall in love with Final Fantasy VII Remake. And now that I think about it, in even the last year and a half, just about, right? By the time we get to Final Fantasy 16, I'm gonna play the hell out of Final Fantasy 16 when we get it. But like, between that, playing Crisis Core back in December, and even before that, playing Stranger of Paradise, which I think we sometimes forget came out and was a Final Fantasy game.
Oh yeah,
that's 3 Final Fantasy games in the last year and a half, and I'm gonna play them all by the time we get through to Final Fantasy 16, and that is something I would never have thought, right?
Yep.
Me playing Final Fantasy at this rate, but I think it also speaks to one, how core Final Fantasy is to Square Enix, which it always has been, but even today, where we've come through and you talk about the decade where Square Enix was the butt of the joke. All right, this game, we'll see when this game comes out. You know, Final Fantasy VII Remake gets announced and we get that trailer and we're like, all right, cool, we'll see. And we're in a place now where It's out. It was fantastic.
Our game of the year.
It was our game of the year, and we're on the precipice of getting another one probably within the next 12 months.
And I believe
wild.
that. And I believe that. Like,
yeah.
And we'll see today. Maybe they come out today and they say, hey, actually it's, summer or fall next year, whatever it is. I wouldn't be surprised about that. But I believe that they have their head wrapped around the development and the rollout of this game, and that they believe in it. And like that believe is what makes me so excited. I never felt that about Final Fantasy 15. Through no moment of the promotion of that game was I like, oh, I believe that this is actually going to hit the way it needs to. I wanted it to. I really prayed that it would. And it came out, and like Final Fantasy 15 was good. It was good. But it needed to be so much more, especially after how long and how much weight and how much was put into that game. But we're in a different era now.
And I also think Final Fantasy is just a franchise that has such a important legacy in the storied legacy. Like Final Fantasy VII, the original. I remember those conversations of Final Fantasy VII versus Ocarina of Time for what's the greatest game of all time for a while, right? Like that was a conversation that my friends would have when I was a kid and like go back and forth on. And that's what we're talking about when you're talking about bringing back Final Fantasy VII through remake and rebirth. That's what you're talking about when you're leading into a release of Final Fantasy 16. I think that's the kind of expectations you go into Final Fantasy 15 with, right? And that's both exciting, but then also dangerous because you have scenarios where, Halo Infinite wasn't that long ago. And Halo, I think, has a similar level of, hey, Halo means something to people. This is a franchise that is like historic, and this is a classic video game franchise that has masterpieces involved with it. And so when you go into Halo Infinite, there are these massive expectations that people have. When you don't meet those expectations, it then feels like it's disastrous for the community, right? Like it's not just a hit to Halo, it's a hit to Xbox in that case. Like coming out and being able to stand by Final Fantasy and treat Final Fantasy in a way where it's consistently hitting. And like I know people feel certain ways about Stranger of Paradise, or whatever, but like those are it's a spin-off, right?
And I would say for a spin-off, it was well received.
Yeah, like Stranger of Paradise, I liked it. I can easily acknowledge all the faults with it, but it was still a fun game. And I think for the most part, the people that played it, that saw all the way through, were like, yeah, all right, cool. And had complaints, but it was fine, right? It served its purpose. But yeah, I think Square Enix is doing a pretty good job with Final Fantasy from what we can tell, and it makes me excited and hopeful that we'll see it today. My question is, what do we see today if it shows up? Do we get a release date?
I mean, I think that would be insane. Like, I don't think we do. Like, that feels a little too early, and I feel like you don't want to put a date on something, especially these days, right? Until you absolutely have to and you're absolutely sure. And I don't think they'd be at that point yet. But maybe I'm wrong. Like, the way that they're wording these messages, although it's translated, so, like, there's always, like, and they're them. So it's like, who knows what exactly is going on, and they're playing with timelines, and they're doing all that stuff. I expect to just see a trailer. Like, I don't expect to see any like substantial gameplay or anything like that.
What would you want to see in that trailer?
Honestly, anything. Like I don't need to see anything. Like the big question I have is the release date at this point. Like I know I'm gonna love this game. I know I'm going to be very excited for whatever they're doing with it. Like I'm going into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in I think the best way possible, which is I absolutely adore the original. I adore the remake. If Rebirth is as much of a one-to-one remake that 7 was to the original, which is the majority, but not fully at all, I'd be happy. If it's radically different, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's got to be radically different.
And
right?
I'm expecting that. And like, I feel like if I were to choose one, I'd rather it just be a brand new experience. Like I have 7. I've played 7 many times. I am very familiar with that.
Yeah.
Let's have fun and let's play with it, which the first one did. And I feel like set up the second one to be essentially a brand new video game entirely. And so yeah, that's all those things. What I want from Summer Game Fest, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth today is something that makes me want to watch it over and over and over again the next couple months. You know what I mean? Just like the last couple trailers have. That
I mean, that's my expectation. My expectation for getting a trailer at Summer Game Fest would be we're showing you a peek into the weird shit that we're doing with it. Because if you're gonna start off this like weird tease where you're connecting the sentences with fix the timeline, already we're talking about the meta shit. We're talking about how are we going to veer off of the original events of Final Fantasy VII and play around. Of course, we're spoilers for Final Fantasy VII Remake, I guess. I don't know if these are spoilers anymore. But how are we going to play around with the timeline of events to make that part of the to make it fun and make it interesting and make it a thing that'll blow the minds of the Tim Gettys of the world.
It's not going to be hard, man. I'm a very simple person with a very simple mind. You show me Zach Fair, I'm going to be excited.
You know, and
that's
like
all I need.
Them saying, fix the timeline. the whereabouts of Destiny, right? Again, teasing this is what you know, this is what could change. Them saying new tracks, rearrangements. Again, we're getting weird with the whole like with the tease here of the green highlighted words, but a lot of this is pointing to let's veer off the timeline. Like let's get crazy with it. And if they show us stuff that's substantial, or not even substantial, that is fucking weird and interesting, I'm in for it, right? I'm into it. I think that could be a really fun time.
Something that I thought was really interesting was I think it was Yoshi P, but I might be wrong about this, was being interviewed a couple weeks ago about what makes a Final Fantasy a Final Fantasy. Mm-hmm. Like, what are the actual core things about it? Is it the gameplay? Is it the story? Is it the characters? Like, what are the things that have to be there? Because it is an anthology series, but what are the core tenets of it all? And some of the answers given were Final Fantasy's always been a franchise that pushes the technical limits of video games. Mm-hmm. And from a production standpoint, adding voice acting, the orchestral scores, the just production value put into it, the graphics, the CG cutscenes, all of that stuff. When you think back to, or FMV cutscenes, all of it, Final Fantasy pushes things forward, pushes tech forward. And I will never forget, like, I think one of my most, if not my most memorable video game preview I've ever done was playing Final Fantasy VII downtown in San Francisco before it came out. And I got to do the Airbuster boss fight. Mm-hmm. And when the arrangement...
we did that together.
Yeah. When the arrangement of that boss fight hit, I, like, had to take a moment because I'm like, video games shouldn't be able to do this. Yeah. Like, this is perfect. This is 10 out of 10 quality. They are pushing things forward so much. And I love that they're still doing that. I bought Final Fantasy X just because everyone was like, yo, this is it. It has voice acting. And like video games, we had Star Fox 64 and things like that. But it was like, this felt different. And in the same way that I rented Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec, I don't like Gran Turismo. I don't like those sim racing games. But I wanted to see what graphics like that could look like on the PlayStation 2. Yeah. You know? I feel like we're there, and we're about to get that with Final Fantasy 16. And Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, PS5 from the ground up, baby.
Dude,
like,
let's go.
Final Fantasy 7 Remake was on PS4.
I mean, to everything you're saying. One, that I think that was my takeaway when I was playing Final Fantasy 13 for PS3 is, wow, this game is gorgeous.
Damn.
This game looks really good. Like, I hadn't seen anything that looked that good on PS3 up until that point. And then also, in thinking about my time with Final Fantasy 7 Remake, when I think of my favorite moments, there are the moments in cutscenes where you're seeing, like, facial animation and character design that is making me like identify with these characters on a personal level, right? On an emotional level. I think of the scene where Barrett is looking for his daughter, not our Barrett, but Barrett in the game, right? He's looking for his daughter, and like you can see the despair in his face, right? When he's trying to find her, and moments like that made me fall in love with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Moments like, you know, Cloud and I believe it was Aerith, was it Tifa? I think it was Aerith on the playground, hanging out and getting those cutscenes again. Like they nailed that stuff so well, and a big part of that is the tech and how much work went into really conveying the beauty of these moments. And yeah, like I'm all about it, and I'm like, even having this conversation is making me excited for Rebirth and what we could see today. And so my final question for this is, does it close out the show?
Ooh, I don't think so.
No?
It doesn't feel like a closer. It's a known quantity. These Summer Game Fest shows, I feel like, don't fully have an identity yet, though. So I don't know. I don't know that we can like correctly guess where something like this will fall. I do think it's interesting going into Summer Game Fest Kickoff Live versus PlayStation Showcase of like where our expectations are, where it's less an expectation that this is going to be a banger. It's more a desire that this is going to be a banger. So I'm hoping that Jeff brings the heat. I think he definitely could. I think that there are enough games out there. I think that knowing that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to be there, Alan Wake 2, Mortal Kombat 1, there's already enough stuff. I'm like, this is going to be a good showcase.
Yeah.
Are the surprises going to be there? That's always the question that brings it up to that, like, wow, this is a legendary showcase thing. But I think the expectations are in a good place right now, and we already know they're going to deliver a quality product. It's just how many surprises are there going to be?
Speaking of Final Fantasy, story number 2, a Final Fantasy IX remake is currently in development, reports claim. This is Tom Ivan at Video Games Chronicle.
The leak. The NVIDIA leak.
It keeps on giving.
It's always right.
Square Enix is currently... We got to go back. We got to revisit that leak to see what's left.
What's left?
After Helldivers 2, I feel like I ran out of things to even pull from. Square Enix is currently developing a Final Fantasy IX remake. It's been claimed. In 2021, a Final Fantasy IX remake was one of many unannounced titles listed in a GeForce Now database leak. These included several Square Enix games that would later be officially confirmed, such as the PC version of Final Fantasy VII Remake, a Chrono Cross remaster, and Kingdom Hearts 4. While a Final Fantasy IX remake has yet to be announced, Giant Bomb reporter Jeff Grubb claimed this week, quote, "I will say I heard very recently, once again, Final Fantasy IX remake is real. That is real and happening," end quote. Gamatsu subsequently reported that a Final Fantasy IX remake is currently in development too. Tim, you're more the Final Fantasy person. What's your history with 9?
Kevin, I'm going to send a video to Assets real quick that I would love for you to bring up in just a second. 9 is not my favorite.
Okay.
It is way more on the fantasy cutesy side, and
You love 11, right?
I love 11, Kevin.
Yeah.
Thank you
I
very
heard
much.
he's a big
for that.
11 person.
Yeah. But no, 9 is a classic. It is one of the best. It is a lot of people I know's favorite Final Fantasy. What we're about to show you right now is a fan-made Unreal 5 remake project of Final Fantasy 9 that's being worked on that at any moment might get taken down.
Yeah.
But it looks awesome, and I hope that if Square is actually making a 9 remake, which at this point I think they are, I hope that it looks like this because it's really damn cool. But 9's really cool. It just came at a time when, so 10 was my first Final Fantasy. So going back to the other ones, I was way more drawn to 7 with its like techno punk look. And then even 8, like there was just the character designs and elements about it that I was more drawn to. I think over time, I've come to realize I do enjoy 9 more than 8. But I don't know that I've ever even beat 9. So I'm very excited about the idea of a remake. I think that I'm in a much better, I have a more open mind to enjoy this game now than I did then. Not in the fantasy stuff, not into the cutesy stuff. So a lot of this I'm like, about.
Yeah.
But 9's
I mean,
class.
what would you expect out of a remake? Do you think they would go the Final Fantasy VII remake route?
No, I don't think they need to.
Yeah.
No, actually, definitely not. 9's different. 9 is like 7 is it's a world, and there's the compilation of 7. There's the movies. There's the spinoffs and all that. 9's just 9. So I feel like they could just make 9 and put it out, and it'd be a fucking hit. But like, look how cool this is.
This is
Again, this is fan made. But I just love it, and it really gets the spirit of the arts of Final Fantasy 9. And I think that is where this remake could, I think, really be different than a Final Fantasy 7 remake. I'm just surprised we haven't seen 6 remade.
6 was one. What platform did 6 come out?
Super Nintendo.
Okay.
It was 3 in America. 6 is like regarded as like the best one. Like if you Final Fantasy
I feel
7.
like I hear that about every Final
But
Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 7 is Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 6 is Link to the Past.
Okay.
Right? So I'm just surprised we haven't seen that yet, but we will eventually. But the dream would be Octopath Traveler 2 or HD 2D.
Yeah.
2D HD? HD 2D Final Fantasy 6. Whew! Be still my heart.
Give me HD 2D Earthbound already. I want it
Sick.
so bad. I know that's Square, and I know Earthbound is Nintendo, but like they
Play
can figure
nice.
it out. Figure
Yeah.
that shit out, please, for the love of God, and also Chrono Trigger, because
Yeah.
I want a reason to go and revisit Chrono Trigger and
for
play
sure.
through that game. Because, dear Lord, do you think? I mean, I guess where does a Final Fantasy IX remake fit into like the Final Fantasy conversation that we're having in terms of, man, they're going all the way in with Final Fantasy. Do you think that is Final Fantasy 16 is about to be one of those fantasy ones, right, that we're talking about? Do you think they're trying to do that to work in conjunction of, hey, coming off of 16 a year later, let's give them more of that fantasy style goodness? Do you think there's a strategy here?
Different type of fantasy.
Okay.
Like, it's very, very, very. I mean, I think you couldn't be more different.
Okay.
16 is rated M.
Yeah.
9's not. You get what I'm
Okay.
saying? I feel like there's more of like a cartoony,
It's like a Game of
Vivi,
Thrones versus Harry Potter
the
type
little
thing,
character
or-
you're seeing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
actually that's really good. Game of Thrones versus Harry Potter. Well, yeah, 9. There's great storytelling. There's dark characters, and there is darkness in it. But the vibe and look of it all is a lot more whimsical.
Yeah.
But no, 9's great. I actually think that 9 is an inspired choice for a remake, and I think that there's a great game, great story there that people like you could get really into now for the first time. And I think remaking is a smart call. There's also a Netflix anime or cartoon. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they're making a Final Fantasy 9 show.
Animation? Okay.
And so I do think all that can be pretty synergistic. And I feel like it could work out in, again, continuing Square's kind of dominance of making Final Fantasy a core gaming franchise that it feels like it hasn't been for a while. It feels like it's been getting a little more niche, right? Whereas back in the day, Final Fantasy was up there with the Marios and Zeldas,
Tim, we're getting hype off of showcases
Yes,
right
we
now.
are.
And that doesn't stop with our next news story, which is also a story about showcases. But before we get there, I want to showcase to you patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Over on patreon.com, you can go and get the show ad-free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon and Summer Game Fest. We are in an absolutely stacked year of video game releases, and you can find all of them on amazon.com/summergamefest. I hope that you found a spare few hundred hours to play all the amazing games that have come out this year already. Gamers have been eating good this year, but this is the only place you want to be. Amazon.com/summergamefest, because guess what? This summer, there's going to be even more exciting announcements coming through of so many more video games that are about to be on all of your favorite consoles, like Final Fantasy 16, Armored Core 6, Diablo 4, Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, Exo Primal, Assassin's Creed Mirage. The list goes on and on. You can go to Amazon.com/summergamefest all summer long to discover the top new and upcoming games as soon as they go up for pre-order, or you can go check out the website now for everything you might have missed so far this year. Again, that's Amazon.com/summergamefest for all of your video game needs. Shout out to Shady Rays for sponsoring this episode. Do you want to look as cool as I look? Yes, you do. And you can. You can take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an unbeatable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair that I've ever worn in my life. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. You can wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. Exclusively for you listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. You can go to shadyrays.com and use the code KINDAFUNNY. You can get 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. You can try for yourself the shades that are rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Promo code KINDAFUNNY at shadyrays.com. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. It's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else needs from you and never take a moment to think about what you need from yourself. I know this from experience, how often it just seems easier to care about others and to keep it moving. But when we spend all of our time giving, it can leave us feeling stretched thin and burnt out. Therapy can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Some of my very best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny.
And we're back.
You know what I would love?
What's that?
Because I'm a sick little boy.
Oh, we know.
Kingdom Hearts remake.
Ugh. You know what? Honestly,
Do it.
I'd be into it. I'd be
Yeah,
super.
dude.
You know, screw it. Remake the whole franchise. Start back again from one.
That's what I'm saying. Like a Final Fantasy VII remake, but Kingdom Hearts remake.
Could you imagine if they did the timeline thing?
Yeah. Okay, maybe not.
Kingdom Hearts?
You know what?
Do you know how
the more I talk about
confusing
this,
that would
I
be?
don't want that. I don't
You know
want
how
that.
messy that would be?
Let's just start over.
If
Let's
they could
just
do the
it
timeline
again.
thing and the timeline was, we're just gonna make this more simple. We're gonna
Kingdom,
get rid
simple
of
and clean.
exactly.
We're
We're
not
gonna
gonna
get
get
rid
better
of
than
all the BS and just make it simple and clean.
Mhm.
Kingdom Hearts Simple and Clean Edition,
Yep.
please.
God, that's what they need to call it.
Story number 3. Capcom has confirmed several titles for its upcoming showcase. This is Tom Ivan at Video Games Chronicle. Capcom has announced 3 of the games set to be featured during a product showcase next week. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, which will be released on June 30th, and Exoprimal, which will be released on July 14th, will appear at the Capcom Showcase. So too will Dragon's Dogma 2, which is yet to be given a release date, but received its first gameplay trailer during last month's PlayStation Showcase. The Capcom Showcase will take place on Monday, June 12th at 3 p.m. Pacific Time. According to Capcom, the show will last for approximately 36 minutes and features some games which are suitable for children. Tim, I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired this morning.
Yes,
because I played Street Fighter 6 a lot last night.
So happy.
I was up
Dude,
late playing some Street Fighter.
I have just not played it enough, Bless. I told you I haven't talked about it on camera yet, but I talked to you in person. The little I played of it, it's just I needed a break, and I was like, I need to get my hands on these sticks, man. Like, how's a new Street Fighter, and I haven't freaking played it yet? Played through Chun-Li's arcade mode, had a great time, got little still images giving me her fun little story, and I'm like, God, this is good. What a solid video game. It just feels good to play. Oh, and it's beautiful, too.
It's so beautiful. And the thing is, the more I play it, the more I fall in love with it, because the more options keep opening up, and it's so fun fighting against people online. Like, I posted a clip online of me, or posted a clip on Twitter of me playing ranked, and I've been training up with Kimberly. I've been trying to get better with Kimberly. And yesterday, right after KFGD, you know, I'm playing a redacted game right now, and I was like, okay, let me get back to playing that, but let me do a couple of ranked matches in Street Fighter first. When I tell you, I played like 14 matches in a row, Tim, and I went on a 14-game win streak as Kimberly, dude. And I've never felt so good about a fighting game before, right? Like, I've always loved fighting games, and like, you know, I've had good win streaks in games like Guilty Gear Strive and even Dragon Ball FighterZ. Like, I feel good about my skill in that game, but going in, training as Kimberly, being like, yo, let me figure out these combos. Like, let me figure out what I'm doing here, and then going back to ranked and it actually working, me actually pulling that stuff off, me actually using my like anti-airs, like techniques that should level up my skill as playing a fighting game, and it actually working. God, it feels so good. But then also fighting against like different people and seeing the different strategies they employ, even using the same characters, it's so cool. Like fighting a different Luke and seeing how they play Luke versus how I play Luke, seeing how different people play Blanca and having to adjust to that in real time and getting that best 2 out of 3. God, it feels fantastic.
And how wild is it to think that the first time we played Street Fighter 6 was 1 year ago at Summer Game Fest? We're going to be playing games tomorrow and the next day, Bless, that we'll be playing next year fully and talking about here. Like, it's just wild how that works, man. And Street Fighter 6 delivered.
Yeah.
It really did, man.
It fully did, and I can't get enough of it.
I saw you tweet this, and it's funny because me and Barrett are having the exact same conversation. I almost feel like this year for Game of the Year, we're going to just have to have a Game of the Year that's not Zelda.
Yeah.
Because Zelda's going to be the Game of the Year, and I feel like that's like, there's no way around that at this point, at least for Kind of Funny. And I'm like, all right, cool. We make the rules.
Yeah, it's like, what else can we talk about here? Yeah, do like the week one.
Because I do think there'll be way more competition between all the other games, because like already I think none of us agree on what Game of the Year is.
On like what number 2
exciting.
is. Yeah. Because here's what I'll say. I don't think I foresee any game beating out Street Fighter right now, like in my number 2. Like in my top, I think my top 2
in
might
your number
be,
2. Yeah, that's the conversation though.
I think my top 2 has solidified as like Zelda number 1 and Street Fighter number 2. And then right after that, probably Hi-Fi Rush. And then do I count Metroid Prime Remastered? Because if so, maybe that's above Hi-Fi Rush. But like, it's wild how good of a year we're having.
We got Final Fantasy, we got Spider-Man 2 still, man.
Yeah. Starfield, which, you know,
and Starfield,
if that hits, like, and you know, let alone Armored Core and Lies of P, and there's the Plucky Squire, that could be really cool. And then what if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth actually does come out this year? You know, have some hope.
No, I don't
have some hope. Everybody.
I don't even want it to. I literally don't want it to come out this year.
Here's my thing, because you mentioned earlier in the Summer Game Fest conversation that, like, you know, I think you mentioned you don't need new game announcements.
Yeah,
I feel like 2024 is a bit. Is barren the right word? Barren might be the right word, right? Like, I can't really think of games coming out in 2024 that I'm super excited about.
We don't know any. And we know so few at this point.
But I think I expected to at least know some after the PlayStation Showcase. And I know they gave us a couple, right? Like, some of those multiplayer games are going to be in 2024. But I guess my big hope for Summer Game Fest and Xbox Game Showcase, for that matter, is to help me visualize 2024 better. Because usually this is the moment that lets us know. And coming off of PlayStation Showcase, not really having a plan for an exciting 2024, I need a bit more, and I'm hoping we get that.
I mean, look, I know we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of conversations here.
Yeah.
My thing with that is, for as bad as that PlayStation Showcase was, it still didn't answer the questions that we know they're going to answer. All the games we expected to see there that weren't there, we will see eventually. So, all the rumors talking about a PlayStation Showcase in September,
I mean, that's the thing is
imagine that'll be the
PlayStation.
place that we hear about the 2024 games because it's not like there just won't be 2024 games.
Of course,
That's
I mean, of course.
impossible.
But I mean, there's a chance that and this will probably be the case that 2024 not as exciting as 2023.
But even on the PlayStation side, it's like what? Spider-Man 2 is their one big first-party one. Besides that, Horizon DLC and
Like VR stuff.
and the VR stuff. But they leaned on Final Fantasy 16 as an exclusive and things like that. But like we're gonna get at least one Spider-Man 2 level game next year. I mean, that's
the strategy of PlayStation.
Yeah.
Makes me excited about wondering what is that going to be, because we already know that again we're going to have, I forget which one's got the 2024 release date between Concord and Marathon and Fair Games, but like I think Helldivers 2 is this year. One of those got like a 2024 thing. But yeah, like what else are we getting? As I type in 2024 games and then had to type in video games, because when you type in 2024 games, it takes you to the Olympics. The Olympics is happening next year. Fun fact.
Mario, they're about to meet up again.
Let's go. But you look up 2024 video games and Rise of the Ronin pops up, which is very exciting. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. There's Earthblade, which is the game coming from the Celeste developer.
Yeah.
Little Kitty, Big City.
Hell yeah.
Wolf Among Us 2.
Yeah, that's where we're at now. It's those type of games, which is great. That's going to fill things out, and that's going to be awesome. We might have some mega surprises there that are like, whoa, these are great. But we also are probably going to get Wolverine.
You think so?
Yeah. 2024? Yeah.
Did Insomniac put out a game last year?
No.
No? Okay. Like, it bewilders me how they're able to have such a consistent cadence putting out games. Games usually take like 4 or 5 years to make, and they're just putting one out almost every year at this point. You put out almost like 5 games on PS5 alone. Thing's been out for like 3 years. Like, how is this possible, Insomniac? Yeah. But yeah, Capcom Showcase, do you have any expectation? Are you excited for it?
Zero expectation.
Yeah.
Always potential for some cool stuff. I think we're in a weird place with Capcom right now where they've delivered. You know what I mean? So it's like, at some point, we're going to have to get the next round of announcements. But like, we got Street Fighter 6, we got Resident Evil 4 remake. We're good.
We got Ghost Trick Phantom Detective about to come out, which I know is going to be exciting for Ghost Trick fans.
Yeah,
and Exoprimal, I keep saying, that game looks really cool. Now, am I going to pay... I forget how much it is. I think it might be $70. Is that a game I'll pay $70 for? That's a different conversation. But removed from price, that game looks real cool.
Capcom's a fun one.
Plays real cool, because I did a preview on it.
Oh, yeah. Capcom's a fun one where it's like, there's always the potential that they bring something back that excites the hell out of me. Onimusha, a Dino Crisis remake, like something like that. I'm like, oh my God, I'd pop the fuck off. And even a Mega Man. I'd be very interested in what a Mega Man being announced would look like. Depending on what it is, I'd be excited or kind of like, eh. But like, Capcom's this like weird X factor. And I think right now, they're not positioned to be ready to announce the next thing. But hey, Resident Evil 9 needs to be officially announced at some point too. So God, I don't expect that, but
correct.
Cool.
A correction for myself. Exoprimal, at least on Steam, is $60. And then people in chat are saying that it is on Game Pass, which doesn't take away from the fact that it's still $60, especially if I'm playing on PlayStation. But oh wait, is it also on PS Plus Extra? Is that true? You're wrong that, because if that's the case, then that's actually very good for it. That actually changes the whole argument. All right, cool. Let's go. Let's play some Exoprimal when that comes
YouTube
out.
Theater's capacity is 6,000 people. There's about to be 6,000 screaming fans.
That doesn't mean they're going to fill it. It's still going to be 2,000.
Oh,
listen, I was at Game Awards. Were there empty seats in the back? Probably. I was toward the front.
You
Tim.
wasn't looking back.
I was
you up there in the
Listen,
front.
nah,
man,
I'm VIP. Come on, man. You can't put me in the back. Can't hold me back. Story number 4. Viewfinder gets a release date in PS5 demo. This is from Tom Ivan at VGC. Viewfinder has received a release date in a PlayStation 5 demo. The puzzle game, which is developed by Sad Owl Studios and being published by Thunderful Publishing, will be released for PS5 on July 18th.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Billed as a mind-bending first-person adventure game in which you can reshape reality by placing found objects into the world, Viewfinder is also coming to Steam this year. Console players can try the game today by downloading a newly released PS5 demo. Of course, Viewfinder, if you don't remember, was one that I believe Andy brought up during a games cast. It's like a first-person puzzle game. Think like a Manifold Garden or Portal or Superliminal, where it's all about perspective, but you're taking pictures and then placing those pictures in the real world to then manipulate the world into solving these cool puzzles. Like, it's a very cool, trippy, weird ass game that I'm all about. I can't wait to play this
so badly.
Dude, I am shocked. I thought this was going to be next year. maybe.
Yeah.
This is that type of indie game you're like, oh, we got our eyes on this one. This is a Cuphead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's coming
this
in
next level.
next month? A demo now?
Yeah. I can't wait. Especially because July is perfect because July isn't that packed with big video games like May and June have been.
Yeah.
Right? Like, unless you're a big Pikmin fan.
Lakers head.
Lakers head, yeah. But yeah, I'm looking for stuff to do in July. And so,
Oh my
yeah,
God,
I'm going to play the
dude.
hell out of this.
This has the potential to be in that Game of the Year conversation.
Yeah.
Again,
Be like that
Game of the Year is
Sifu
not
kind of.
Zelda conversation. But,
Exactly.
But yeah, be the Sifu, be the
Be the Cuphead or be
yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
be the
Oh,
Celeste
God,
type
I hope
game.
this is as good as it can be because, honestly, I'm just excited to play this. I feel like no matter what, it's going to be very, very cool. But I'm hoping that it is one of those like transcendent experiences.
Oh yeah, same here. My one thing with it, I think it looks dope. I think it's gonna be dope. Is it going to surpass the Superliminal of the worlds? Because like I really enjoyed Superliminal, but Superliminal I think had some like things here and there where it didn't fully blow me away. You know, like I enjoyed it a lot. I think the idea was really cool, but the gimmick. I think by the time I got halfway through that game, the gimmick kind of faded away a bit, and I just was in this puzzle, my flow of solving puzzles and stuff. I hope that moment to moment, even as I get further into the game, they're able to surprise me. I think that's the big thing is surprise.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, are you going to be able to blow me away by the time I'm 2/3 into the game? You introduce like new wild things to me. That's the hope. Story number 5. Friday the 13th, the game is being delisted and shut down. This is Joseph Yaden at GameSpot. Friday the 13th, the game will no longer be available to purchase digitally and physically after December 31st, 2023. Publisher Gun Media's Friday the 13th license will expire on December 31st, 2023, and there are seemingly no plans to renew it. We do know the game will be playable until at least December 31st, 2024. It's unclear whether Friday the 13th will shut down for good, but there's still time left to enjoy it for now. This comes by way of a tweet from the publisher, which notes that Friday the 13th, the game will be available to purchase for $5 until it's delisted at the end of 2023. Likewise, each DLC pack will be available for $1, making it easier for players to dive in before the game and its contents are pulled from storefronts. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man. This is one of those things that's going to continue to happen more and more as video games have new types of licensing, and we saw a big rush of this in the 360 era with licensed music stuff of like games being taken down. A lot of the first wave of downloadable games, things like the TMNT Turtles in Time remake that they did, that getting pulled, and it was like, whoa, that's a full ass game, and you're pulling it? Like, that doesn't make sense. It's like, oh, it's licensing.
Yep.
And I feel like that story's gotten more and more common over time.
Was that what happened with
this is
No, this image is great.
an amazing image.
Was that how it went down with Scott Pilgrim, the game?
Yeah.
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 That stuff bums me out.
Exactly. And then, over time they might figure it out, but they might not. Like Scott Pilgrim, I think, got lucky. Like I can't believe that game ever came back. But with this, it's, so many things at play. It is.
This is the type of game that I wouldn't expect to come back, because it's this multiplayer game that is of the moment, and it would have to be it would have to be through the power of people on the internet that know how to preserve shit, right?
Yeah.
Like preservers out there and people who can mod shit and figure out how to keep that stuff alive. Like, it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be through the studio who made the game that in order to keep it alive, right? And that's the thing that sucks about it, but also I think Friday the 13th had its time, right? Like, this game came through, it made a splash, it got the Greg Millers of the world in, it led to specifically, yeah, and it kept that 4v1 asymmetrical multiplayer format going a bit alongside Dead by Daylight and other games, right? But Evolve came out and was one of the first of those that try to push it on a big level, and I'd say it came out and didn't do that, right? Like, Evolve came and went, it didn't succeed in the mission, but Friday the 13th, along with other games, came through, stood its ground, did that on a level that was more manageable because it was a smaller thing, but using a license that was very popular, and had this interesting gameplay gimmick that worked. And now we've seen more games come off of that, right? We saw Predator Hunting Grounds that kind of funny got into for that year. There's Ghostbusters. Basically games that are tailored to Greg.
Ilphonic games.
Ilphonic games, yeah. We've seen that continue to carry the flag and continue to come out and get in the Greg Millers. And yeah, shout out to Friday the 13th for doing its thing, right? And really
trying its best.
for trying its best and getting an audience in that really enjoyed that game. Our final news story for the day, story number 6. Like a Dragon Gaiden seemingly arrives this November. This is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. Yakuza spinoff Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, arrives November 9th this year, according to a PlayStation Store leak. As reported by Gamatsu, new details for Like a Dragon Gaiden appeared on PlayStation Store price tracking website PS Deals, suggesting the game now exists in the store's backend, even if it's not available to view publicly. A synopsis of the game arrived alongside the release date leak. Quote, once a legendary Yakuza, Kazuma Kiryu faked his own death and abandoned his name for the sake of protecting his family, it said. Now he is thrust into conflict by a mysterious figure attempting to drive him out of hiding, end quote. The description also highlights two distinct fighting styles available to players, the aggressive Yakuza style and the gadget-infused agent style. Quote, with the Yakuza style, strike fear into enemies by unleashing wildly aggressive moves powered by Kiryu's unparalleled strength and flair, the post said. Or up the ante with the agent style by delivering blows with absolute speed and precision, while using an array of high-tech gadgets like electrified bind wires to stun enemies, then send them flying, end quote. You gotta love Yakuza. Little has been said about Like a Dragon Gaiden, which will connect Yakuza 6 with the upcoming Like a Dragon 8, since it was announced in September 2022. The release date, alongside these other details, will likely be announced officially at the RGG Summit Summer 2023 showcase taking place on June 15th. Again, time it's showcase season. The leaks are happening.
Season. Oh yeah, man. I am happy like the lack of leaks that have been going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think specifically for Summer Game Fest, like a lot of the win gets taken out of the sales when things leak right before that specific showcase. I want to see them win. I really, really, really want the Jeff showcase to be like phenomenal. You know, but looking at this, don't expect to see this there. They're talking about the RGG Summit. That makes a lot more sense to me. I'm excited that the Yakuza franchise is popping off as much as it is in recent times.
So many. There's a Yakuza game that came out in February.
And it's a different style,
Like a Dragon
different
Nation.
remakes, different all the stuff. Like, hey, they're delivering for their fans. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, good for them. Tim, I'm excited to see if Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, delivers for the Yakuza fans. But that game with a very long title is so far away. If I want to know what's coming out to mom drop shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah. Out today, we got Harmony, The Fall of Reverie for Switch and PC. MotoGP 23 for PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Mask of the Rose for PC and Switch.
Cool name.
Right?
Generic as hell, but cool.
Mask of the Rose. That sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah, totally does.
You unveiled my trap card, Mask of the Rose. Now give me all your life points. Pro Cycling Manager 2023 for PC, Speed Crew for Switch and PC, and then Tour de France 2023 for PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, and Xbox One. We got one new date for you. Blasphemous 2 launches August 24th for Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and PC, according to a PSN leak. Get it together, PlayStation. Usually, I feel like leaking directly from PlayStation is wild. Like, who do you think you are? Walmart Canada? Jim Ryan, get it together. Deal of the day for you. Payday 2 is free on the Epic Game Store, and then Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition plus Guacamelee 2 are the free titles for next week. Tim, people can, of course, write in to kindoffunny.com/KFGD to get your questions read on the show, just like Dean L did. Dean L writes in and says, hey, Bless and Tim, in honor of this packed Street Fighter / Diablo double release week, do you guys have any favorite combo of closely released games? Mine is Portal Combat Week in April 2011. That was Portal 2 and Mortal Kombat 9.
Oh my God.
That's fantastic. Hope you all have a great summer Game Fest.
You know, I actually do have an answer that pops to mind. I don't know if the actual release dates were close, but I pre-ordered 2 games, and I picked them up at the exact same time at the EB Games at Stonestown. RIP. It's now a GameStop. That's how that works. It was Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube, obviously, because I'm not a crazy person. And F-Zero GX.
Right? At Heihachi.
Of course. Oh, Heihachi. Congratulations.
My guy.
Everyone's favorite.
I didn't even know who he was at the time. I was like, who's this guy who punches? Give this man a weapon. Dang it.
Figure this shit out,
Figure this
dude.
shit out.
But yeah, F-Zero GX and Soul Calibur 2, both in the GameCube. And it was awesome. Like,
that sounds awesome.
That was a great time. It was like, I want to say August 2002, something like that. I want to look into it to see if they actually did come out at the same time. But I remember me and my friend Curran for the next like couple weeks just playing this one for a couple hours, that one for a couple hours, this one for a couple hours, just back and forth and back and forth. What a time, man.
Oh, I really like this question because there are a few that come to mind. I feel like now the classic one is going to be Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal. I think because those games have such opposite styles, right? In one game, you're shooting through demons in hell, and in the other game, you're paying your landlord money, like you're trying to raise money and build houses and build land and try and make sure Timothy Nook or whatever his name is.
Timothy Nook.
You're trying to make sure Tom Nook has all his coins. That made for such great memes, and the internet was a delight for that 2-week span. During this period of time, that was fucking terrible because the pandemic was starting and all this. But yeah, like that one stands out to me. Another one back in 2017, which was like the last time we had one of the best gaming years ever. There was that, I think it might have been September or October. It was sometime in the fall where we got Mario Odyssey, I believe Assassin's Creed Origins, and I think it was Wolfenstein 2. Yeah. October 7th. Oh, dude, Barry remembers the date. That was a wild day. And like, God, I mean, obviously I started with Mario because yeah, like what else? I can play Assassin's Creed Origins. What do I look like, Greg Miller? But yeah, no, Mario was such a special game. And then I finally beat Mario and then went on to Wolfenstein after not even having expectations like that. And Wolfenstein also blew me away. Like I couldn't believe how much I fell in love with Wolfenstein. And so yeah, that for sure sticks out for me. But then another one that isn't two games.
Real quick there, just talking about, not that timeline, but the first one you said about the Animal Crossing Doom. That was also Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
It was,
which is one of the first games that we ever reviewed together.
Yeah.
During those early days. And I totally forgot about Ori. I was doing all the Xbox predictions and stuff. What's that studio up to? Where are we? I think it's about time to hear about another Ori. I don't expect it, but like,
you think they'll make an Ori 3 or a new game?
I pray they make an Ori 3. I feel like Ori was so damn good. Ori 2 was fucking phenomenal, but still had some issues. I think an Ori 3 could just be like, knock it out of the park. Beautiful, amazing game.
You know what? Speaking of that, what's going on with Wolfenstein 3?
I mean,
are y'all even making it? Like, is Indiana Jones?
I do think kind of is the...
It hurts. Like, get that game out the door then and start working on Wolfenstein 3. Like, cool. Like, you're making I'm excited for your Indiana Jones game, but I'm more excited for Wolfenstein 3, if I'm being honest. I want to play Wolfenstein, dang it. There was another one. This isn't two games. It's a game and an album. But in 2016, I believe it might have been 2016. No, was it? Or was it 2015? Somewhere around there. Ratchet and Clank remake came out for PS4. Really close to Big Sean and Jhené Aiko's album, 2088. And so whenever I think of that game, I think of that album. And whenever I think about that album, I think about that game.
What a great pair.
Yeah. Oh my, I listened to that album all throughout playing that game.
So funny.
Just the weirdest pairing, right? Like, God, I love it. But yeah, I think those are the main ones that come to mind. It's so hard to like think back to other games that had really close release dates like that. Yeah. Like I wonder, I feel like when I was a kid, I got Jet Force Gemini and Donkey Kong 64 all in one go. And that's why I am the way I am today.
That's the reason.
That's the reason why you have this current version of me. Also, shout out to Lil Caesar in chat. 2088 was legit. Very good album. Very great album. People don't talk about it enough. Tim, we got one more question from Charles Jakobsen, who writes and he says, "Greetings, Bless and Tim. With tomorrow's new Fortnite season, Optimus Prime rolls out onto the island.
Oh, man.
My question, Fortnite's Battle Royale is just 6 years old. What would you have found hardest to believe back in 2017? That we'd see a game where Optimus Prime, Spider-Man, Luke Skywalker, and Master Chief could be all in the same squad, or crossplay and cross-save would become a thing you expect in new multi-platform games? Have a lovely day, and can't wait to see you react to SGF 23. Sincerely yours, Charles J."
Fantastic question. And honestly, I do think that they are fairly equal, and I would have never believed they'd happen. I do think, though, at the end of the day, I'd got to go with crossplay and cross-save. I never thought we were going to get that. That felt like such a no way. I think that in my time covering video games, the most I just simply don't believe it, is this and Xbox Game Pass. Wow. Them being like day and date, first party titles from here on out, you'll be able to get them. It's like, surely that can't be true. Surely you're just talking about Crackdown 3. You're not talking about Halo. You're not talking about Gears. They were. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty much it, though. Bless, you know what I mean? What else they putting out on it?
that's all. That's all.
Sorry, I really had to do it. I had to do
Get it together, Phil. I think for me, I would go the crossover stuff, right? The fact that you have Spider-Man and Luke Skywalker and Master Chief and Batman in a game, and they give Batman a gun. I don't even know Batman's in it. I just assume because that's what Fortnite is. Like they give Goku a gun. He is
in several different iterations. Of
like that's insane.
Give Chucky a gun. Chucky Finster.
Well, you wanted Chucky Finster to be on the other side of the gun, if I remember correctly.
That doesn't sound like me.
That's somebody find the tape, roll back the tape, because I'm pretty sure you said that. But no,
Am I alone? You know what I mean? Like,
but I think honestly, even more so than these examples, the thing that blows my mind the most is that Fortnite became the biggest game on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's one of the biggest games of all time.
One of the biggest things.
Fortnite,
games.
A game that we made fun of for years because it felt like vaporware. A game that like was showed off years prior, and I'll listen to Giant Bombcasts, and they would joke about like, oh yeah, remember Fortnite? Oh man, Fortnite's gonna come out someday, right? And then it came out, and it was dead. And then they put out a battle royale mode, and that turned it into the biggest thing on the. That's insane.
Yep,
that's
it
absolutely
really
wild. Could never have guessed that. But yeah, Fortnite. What a neat thing.
What a neat little thing.
What a neat little thing. Now it's time for kindafunny.com/you're wrong, where you write in, let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong, so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Multiple people are writing in about the seating capacity of the YouTube theater. We appreciate it.
6,000 screaming fans.
Nano says the FF9 cartoon was never announced for Netflix. Also, it's being made by a French studio, which I think technically makes it non-anime. I think
that's what I was saying. I don't know about the definitions or I didn't know exactly the details there.
Yeah.
I thought it was Netflix though, but
I don't think anybody knows the definition of anime. Let's see. You know it when you see it. Just like, never mind. Corey G says Tekken.
I've seen Final Fantasy 7 porn.
Wait.
If I don't,
I messed that up. I meant 10.
if I'm remembering correctly,
we don't need to get into the details, Kev. We don't need to get into the details.
That wasn't the wild part. It wasn't the fact that you mixed up 7 and 10. That was the crazy thing that came out of your mouth just then.
Not the details, but wasn't that like downloaded by accident because you thought you were getting? Yeah, okay. Cool.
Oh, was it LimeWire?
Yeah,
it's always LimeWire.
It was Kazaa, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember one time I thought I was going to download 808s and Heartbreak from LimeWire. Let me tell you, that was not 808s and Heartbreak.
Yeah, it was not the Final Fantasy X-2 trailer either.
Oh, man.
So much blur, so much mosaic.
Nano says, I can't find anything about Extra Primal being on PS Plus Extra, only Game Pass. Appreciate you. Okay. Oh, there's been reports about a new Friday the 13th game incoming, but we'll see.
Interesting.
I'm elite.
A self you're wronging that I already said I wasn't really sure about. I thought I just got them at the same time. I was correct there. I was totally off about the year, though. It was 2003, not 2002, for F-Zero and Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur 2 was July 5th, and F-Zero was July 25th. But I think I had pre-ordered Soul Calibur, and I just waited to pick it up for F-Zero.
A bunch of people are writing in about Moon Studios. Apparently, there have been reports about Moon Studios and Microsoft not working together anymore based on like workplace allegations or workplace stuff. But also, Missing Link here is saying that Moon Studios has already said that their next game isn't Ori. It'll be a top-down action RPG. I almost didn't want to say it because I knew that would make you really sad.
Yeah, I'm bummed.
All right, and that's it for kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Tomorrow's hosts for the show are going to be Sancho West and Chloe. There's something crazy going on outside those doors.
Yeah, Sancho West and Chloe, though.
Sancho West and Chloe.
Love this, man. That should be fun. We're all heading out, so it's like, we want the show to keep rolling, though. So the homies are coming through. Really excited to see what they pull off there.
Of course, if you're watching this live after this, we're going to be hanging out until Summer Game Fest. So come chill out with Mike, Nick, and Andy as we have fun and make predictions for the show. And then tune in at noon to watch Summer Game Fest happen live at the Shrine Theater. No, it's at the YouTube Theater in front of possibly 6,000 fans.
Screaming fans,
if they sold it out. I've not gotten confirmation or not if they've sold out the show, but
yeah,
we'll have to see. Tim, of course, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday live right here on YouTube and Twitch. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. Until next time, Game Daily.
Bless, look at this. Look at this gift that Corey Cudney made.
Oh, that's
It's
fantastic.
perfect.
Holy cow.
So good.
I don't think we're doing... Oh, you're setting up for the next thing.
Yeah, no, we're set up. We're about
Are we still live?
to bounce off. Me and
What's
you
up,
are going to take a little
everybody?
breaky break
Oh,
while
yeah.
some other people doing some predictions. I'm excited. What a day, everybody. Remember, we're going to be hanging out all day on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, reacting to this stuff, doing our live Gamescast post-show breakdown to Summer Game Fest after it happens. If you're watching on YouTube, you're going to have to make the jump over to the different links as the different segments start. So, we'll drop the links when the time comes for all that. But no matter what happens, we're going to have fun today, Bless.
We're going to have a lot
be a
of fun.
really, really good day. It's going to be a really great weekend, honestly. Really great week next week. Like, it's not like Summer Game Fest ends even this weekend. We have Ubisoft and Capcom on Monday.
We reacting to that Capcom thing?
We are reacting to the thing on Monday. Yeah, Monday, we're going to be live all day as well. 10 a.m. starting with Ubisoft. We'll do our post-show breakdown to that. Nick's going to hang out with y'all for an hour and a half, I think. And then we're going to do a Gamescast talking about all the things we play this weekend. So our hands-on experience with stuff, and that'll go right into the Capcom live reaction. So, yeah, it's going to be a great live couple days for us here.
Here's my thing. Sancho West is in chat saying he challenges me to Street Fighter 6. And it's saying his Marissa has the hands. Sancho West, you do not want the smoke. All right? I don't listen. Where are you at? I'll fight you locally. All right, wait. Actually, Sancho is Sancho coming to Summer Game Fest?
Yeah, most likely. Sancho, when Blessing is confident about something, you don't want that.
This jacket is sick. As hell.
Look at this guy.
Thanks,
I didn't
bro.
get the memo that we're dressing up like this.
Well, here's the
Should I
thing.
go back home?
Tim, we put the memo out last
We be
time.
memoing, dude.
For PlayStation,
dressed
not
up
for this.
nice.
No, I did not. I put on a sweatshirt.
No, for the PlayStation one, you were nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, not for this one. I didn't know we're dressing up like this
Well, it's a
today.
whole week-long announcement. It's a whole week-long
yeah.
alert.
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna find an outfit. I'm gonna come back.
Are you packed?
Listen.
Okay.
Are we leaving straight from here? What's the
Okay.
plan? My bag isn't here, so I gotta go home anyway. So we'll figure it out.
All right, I'm going to bounce out.
I'm bounced out.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, wow.
Goodbye,
okay.
Tim and Bless.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're on break.
Cool.
You're on
Blessing,
break?
you're on break as well. They will be back in about an hour or so, a little bit before the presentation actually starts.
Sancho,
Ladies
if you're in
and gentlemen.
LA, come get these hands.
I mean, Sancho heard the call, Blessing. And honestly,
Fight you, Sancho.
I think the most important
want
thing
you.
to know is that whoever wins between you and Sancho, it's just important to note that I beat Andy. Hey, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're going to do a little pre-show right now where we do, you guessed it, that's right, predictions. If you guys are in the Twitch chat or watching us over on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and you're over there as the super chatters go, we want to take some of your predictions right now, guys. Here's how it's going to work. Of course, if you guys want to gift a sub over on Twitch, or if you want to do a $5 super chat, that'll get your guys' questions to the top of the line. We will answer as many of those as humanly possible here.
What are you doing, Mike? What on earth are you fucking doing?
What are you doing?
I'm getting comfortable.
Just Jesus Christ.
That chair's broken. The
fuck
okay,
are
that
you
chair's
doing?
broken.
Is the chair broken, Mike?
The chair's broken. I'm comfortable now.
What is wrong with you?
God, I miss us. Where have you
It's just
been?
so- it's like a bull in a china shop. Over there. What is happening?
Let me get comfortable.
Especially to roll around on the table, too.
Get
Jesus
comfortable.
Christ.
Remember, everyone, if you guys are watching us and you like what we're doing here, you guys want to watch ad-free, there's multiple ways to do it, of course. Lots of announcements coming up today, and you guys do not want an ad interrupting that. So please subscribe to us. We'll take your predictions right now with one sub. And, of course, if you guys have Amazon Prime, if you're watching over on Twitch, guess what? I bet you didn't know. You got one free Twitch Prime subscription that comes with that Amazon Prime. We'd like it to go to us, but if it doesn't go to us, guys, make sure you use it for someone out there that's doing awesome work on Twitch because it's free for you and fun for us. Let me get in my Duffy here. Let me get my duffel bag.
Yeah, let me get my duffel bag because Andy threw me off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what are you doing?
He's attacked me on stream.
What are you doing?
Oh my God, you guys are.
It's like
you're
when
freaking-
Nick was like,
Andy.
Mike could not sit still at the goddamn Transformers movie. He just we went everywhere.
Ashari 1551, thank you so much for those 5 gifted tier 1 subs over on Twitch. Jordan for Peeps, thank you for that Prime sub for 9 months. Appreciate it right there. We had one more sneak in. Mokashona with a Prime sub, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mocha Shona.
And Matt Ho Chu, or Matho, as I like to say. 10 months subscribing at Tier 1. Thank you so much for that, guys. Let me pull up the super chats here. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
I mean, a lot of people are saying very nice things about Andy's jacket, and I love
It's
that.
a hot jacket.
It's a good jacket.
It's a really dope jacket. It says members only. Is that what it says on that little pocket
Remember,
sleeve?
I usually buy members only jackets.
Yeah.
Is that a brand that I should
Brand,
know
yeah.
about? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's a big brand. Like,
It's
that was
it's
like
a very,
thing,
very
right? In,
old
like,
brand.
The 70s
Okay.
or something?
It sounds like what's the cool, like the Supreme stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's what it reminds me of.
It is before. Like,
It would be like the Supreme of olden days.
Yeah, I'd say so, maybe.
That's kind of dope. Do you ever have a moment where you like latch the neck? Do you see how there's buttons on your neck?
Latch the neck. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Would you ever,
No,
Combine
These
those?
are like the old school kind of like racer jackets.
Okay.
I just realized, like, I've been wearing the same jackets for about 4 years.
Okay.
Not that I was really wearing those jackets, but like during the pandemic, hey, we're back from pandemic. What are you gonna wear on shows, Andy? Oh, the same jackets I was wearing 4 years ago. Let me buy some new jackets.
Last night I was streaming and we packed my bag. We went through a little fashion show. People were giving me dubs, giving me L's on certain things that I wanted to wear. The One Piece t-shirt got a lot of dubs.
Oh,
a lot of dubs.
good.
People love One Piece. But this morning, I looked at Roger and I was like, we got to go to Kohl's. And he's like, we can go to Target. And I was like, we're going to go to Kohl's. Pulled up, me and Roger went a little shopping for our trip right before we left. So I got some cool stuff to debut. Some things, Andy, you would see me wear and you go, Mike, you would never wear that. You're so out of the norm.
I'm excited to see.
But what if I rock
wait,
it?
do
know
you
what I
have
mean?
them now?
Yeah, they're in the back. They're in the bag ready to rock.
What if for a certain amount you show us one or two outfits?
Oh, man, you want me to do some outfit changes?
You know what I mean?
Let's see right now. It's 11:10. I would have to do the fashion show at 11:30.
He
Nick,
could have dressed up, before we came on the show, but he was curling his eyelashes.
yes.
What did he say when
can
we
see
said, why
that
do you
now.
do that, Andy? What
Hey,
did he
man.
say?
See,
so
Greg
much-
gets it.
Cool
Thanks,
Greg has it.
I don't get it, but I'm not gonna whatever you want to do. I mean, and what I mean is I legitimately don't get
He doesn't get it.
curling eyelash.
Cool
Oh.
Greg asked, so what's that to like, you want to like to look
back
cute
collar.
or why do you do
Take
that?
some of that collar from me. You're gonna let me come out here looking like a fucking idiot?
That's
You're not
Nick's
gonna,
job.
No, your job.
I'm wearing a t-shirt.
You say you curled them to see better. You couldn't see the fucking collar?
That's true.
Like,
That's
God
true.
damn it, let me
brought
know
up
we're
the bar.
live.
I brought up the bar right now.
You got up the bar.
We're
If we fill up a full bar after this bar, I'll do it. I'll give you a little fashion.
Love that fashion.
Yeah, let's fill up a full bar. We can do that. If everybody on the stream right now gifted one tier, one sub, or became a YouTube member, that bar would fill instantly.
Nick, remember when we bought these computers together?
Yeah.
Let's throw them out the fucking window and get new ones. I'm sick of this battery always being dead. You've
Your
been
battery
off
dies.
all night. Why are you at 53%?
You're
It's a
using
big
it.
fucking day.
Was it
Use
charging
it.
overnight?
No, it was sitting in a bag.
Wait, Nick, didn't you just buy a new computer recently?
No.
I mean, like
I've had this
2
for
years.
like
Tim did.
5 years.
Tim did.
Tim did.
Timothy did.
Was it 5 years ago? Huh.
Longer than that, I think. When we were in the old studio.
Yeah, it was
That
an old
4 or 5
studio,
years ago, yeah.
yeah.
Kevin, of course, we would be nothing without our predictions graphic. Do you have that up? Are you prepping that?
Very, very
Cool.
important. We can't do it without it.
There you go. You can put it on the front desk too if you wanted to, if that's easier. Or right behind my shoulder right here,
maybe.
if you want to put it in this
well,
space.
Like, give me 1 second. This is there's like 4 layers to it.
We'll have Mike scoot over here. You want to scoot over here?
Hold
Do you
on.
want me to scoot?
Hold on. And before we let's.
Do you want me to get
try
my
the
box
first-
unboxed?
All right, everyone's freaking out.
Okay.
What's
You like that?
I love that.
Yeah, it looks great.
Crushed it.
I don't know if it'll work now though. Let me try. Well,
We don't know if it'll work.
Well, it's because when you move OBS and you're moving multiple layers, yeah, see, those don't scale correctly.
Gotcha,
But if
gotcha.
you give me a second instead of all just fucking laughing at me,
No,
God, I hate
that's
you.
not what it
Not
was.
you, Andy. Not you.
Kevin,
you
I brought
stayed
you
silent.
chocolate
That's
milk
not-
and donuts.
Greg, obviously
my
not
God.
you. You're not awful like the rest
You
of
brought
these
chocolate
kids.
milk as well?
For him, yeah. I always bring it.
Okay.
If I go,
Didn't know if you got a bunch of them.
No, if
I
I go-
would have
if-
started down in those, Nick.
if I go to Krispy, you can get on
He
the chocolate
points
milk
at
train.
Nick like, you know what's up.
Well,
Okay, because today,
tell him, Nick. Tell him what I was doing.
because today Mike, there's also a sound effect on. Because today Mike eats 2 Krispy Kreme donuts, locks eyes with Roger as he's pulling out the pineapple juice that he drinks straight out of the carton, and goes, Roger, I'm gonna need to talk to you after this Summer Game Fest. Get me on a diet. Get me on a diet. And Roger just shakes his head. He's done with Mike. He's officially done
Roger
with
and I
Mike.
go to the gym every single day. You see the results in Rogers. You don't see the results in me. You know what I mean? Someone's doing it right. Someone's doing it wrong. That's all I gotta say.
Love
Well, also Roger, he's looking fitter. He's looking more healthy, but also he's eating a bowl of
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
brown shit. It's like, what is
Is that a way to live? Is it
Exactly.
worth it?
In and out?
Roger looks
Donuts?
great and doesn't get winded walking around like we do. But he sits there, bowl of diarrhea every morning, the bachelor
Yeah,
chow.
today, well, did you guys already say what he was eating today? So I was looking at chat. He was eating like a cantaloupe with cottage cheese in it.
Oh.
I'm not doing that. Greg.
And it looked good. It looked healthy. It looked like the kind of
fatter
food
than
where you
ever, and
eat
I
it
don't care.
afterward.
I
You
really
feel
do care. I
good.
have problems.
You get real energy.
Yeah.
Unlike when I eat baby goldfish, which I'm on now.
Oh, so good.
And I
sir.
just
I'm
feel,
on this system.
Oh,
right
dude,
now.
I'm on the baby goldfish train real hard now, and I just feel awful afterward. I'm gonna give a shout out to Gabe's Ness for 5 gifted tier 1 subs over there on Twitch. We got a couple. Cooper Fuqua gifted 5 Kind of Funny Games memberships, as did Dropkick Tondo over on the YouTube. So guys, if you got one of those gifted memberships, please say thank you and keep that love rolling in both of those chats. We have a couple predictions right now. Kevin, are we ready for the predictions bar? Otherwise, we'll just go into a couple of them while
Yeah,
you're
no,
setting
we're
that up.
totally set. We're all set.
Fantastic. Alec Figueroa says, I'm predicting at least 2 awkward non-gaming celebrity moments. Thanks for the entertainment while I'm at work, y'all. Andy, this goes to you. Do we think we're going to have a couple awkward non-gaming celeb moments?
So not
Not Ed
developers,
Boon.
not people that you.
Tekken.
Not
like Kevin
like, hey,
Hart.
I don't do this for a living, but I'm a game developer. It's going to be awkward. That's going to happen no matter what. I'm talking like they bring out Al Pacino, and you're like, why is Al Pacino here?
That's yeah. I mean, shit. 2. What
2
was-
seems high, though.
You think that'll?
So wait.
What's the
real
over
quick.
under set at? 2.5.
2.
Well, we gotta do 2.5 or 1.5.
Sure. I don't know what over-unders are, so great. 2.5.
Do 1.5.
So we say 2.5, and then you go, do you think it'll be more than 2.5, or do you think it'll be over 2.5 or under 2.5?
I'm just confused as to how you bring a half of a human being out.
Well, that's the whole point. Because if you said 2, what if it is 2? You hit 2, and that's it. And I said over, he said under. We're both
It's
wrong.
a yes or no question. Is it yes or no question?
Don't
guys?
break his mind.
Listen, I understand
Just
you think
yes
you've done
or
your.
no.
You know what I mean? This is what happens.
Tell him.
This
Tell
is what
him.
happens
Tell
when
him.
WWE superstars come down and
Superstar.
slum it at the high school gymnasium. All right?
You know what I mean? Come on.
I got fucking a math teacher over here thinks he's Vince McMahon. Isn't going to listen to me about how to do video game predictions.
I mean, you're in 2K, bro. Like,
I know, right?
Come on.
Big
Ring a
time.
ding
It's big
ding.
time.
Ring a ding ding. Hold
Let's
on,
see
let
what
me
it
answer
says. Yes.
Oh,
It's yes.
yes.
The answer is yes. ladies and gentlemen. There will be at least 2 awkward moments.
Thank you, Jeff Keighley.
Oh, my
Thank you,
God.
Jeff
Thank
Keighley.
you, Jeff Keighley's head.
I got
appreciate
your
it.
back.
I love it. I love
We
it.
were talking
love it.
yesterday that Nick pushes you around. I'll push him around.
I do not push anyone around. Next question comes from Alec Bobko over on YouTube. It says Skydance's Cap/BP game gets a story cinematic trailer.
Ooh.
Oh,
Text
Captain
comes up
Black
at the end saying gameplay reveal at Disney
yeah.
and Marvel Games Showcase later
No.
this year.
Negative.
Negative.
I don't think
no
I don't
on
think
that.
you see Captain America and Black Panther.
That would be such a win for him, though, if he did get it. You know what I mean? Like, if you got that game here, that would be a big win for the summer kickoff. I think that's
a huge win.
an awesome vibe if he's
But
able to nail that.
But I do think that this year, Jeff seems a lot more reserved on his social
Well,
presence.
yeah, but I hope that's because he's like, you
Thinking
know what?
it's so
I
big.
fucking got it. If I don't build it up,
No.
You know what I
Because
mean?
here's the thing.
He's like Jim Jones.
Because here's the thing. When he
the
took
guy
a
who
pic-
killed all the cult people?
No, Jim Jones. He was the guy who was
when
shooting
he
the
took a
shot.
picture of his face looking at the screen,
Yeah.
excited,
Yeah.
you knew, holy shit, something's about to happen. And then you heard the excitement in his voice, and it was like, holy shit, he's announcing Elden Ring right here. And
Yeah.
that was like a gigantic moment.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we're going to have something on that level. I think we're going to have like a couple of nice surprises, but I'm keeping my expectations pretty low for this. No Cap, no BP.
Mike?
I say hell yeah. I think that's a win. If he can get something like that, that's where we change the conversation of like, oh, Jeff, you did a fine convention. No, if he nails that big time.
I mean, you think it's a win, sure, but is it going to be there?
Yeah, this is a prediction.
it's
not,
time?
Is it
yes.
good or bad?
Yes. Yes. We've already seen it. It's time to bring it out. I'm going to go with yes.
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Survey says.
What's it going to be, Jeff?
no.
Oh, come on,
That's a no
Jeff.
right
That's
there.
a no. That's a no. Unfortunately, Jeff doesn't have that smoke like
What'd I
that.
tell
Doesn't
you?
have
He
that
doesn't
heat.
have that gas.
Just a reminder, people, if you guys are gifting subs over on Twitch, make sure you leave a comment in there if you want to ask something for our predictions panel. Seeing a lot of nice subs go out to the community. War Machine is sub with Prime. Jaws 1015 has subscribed with his Prime for 22 months. Nade012 has gifted a tier 1 sub to the community. Hamilton 30, we see out there. I see everyone out there. Yeah, make sure you guys ask some questions. Let's see. Ooh, 29 hours, 1 to rule 1. No. 29 hours, 1 to 1 rule has gifted 10 tier 1 subs over on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for that. And Mike, I think it's time for a fashion show. Have we filled the bar almost already?
No, we have to fill up the bar. So
we have to fill up the bar.
We fill this bar up, and then if we fill up that bar, I will go out and change. I'll put on some nice clothes.
Moving the goalpost.
Because I got
He didn't want it.
I got some dope stuff.
And I think
I
he
didn't move the
wonders why
goalpost.
Nick is so mean to him. You know what I mean? Nick, I'm going to take back some of the stuff I said and did to you earlier. All right? I didn't realize that Mike was the problem.
I didn't know you were just two-turning like that on me. Okay?
That's what a WWE superstar does.
Didn't know you were
right?
like that.
DJ Kento has given us a $5 super chat. Said, "Happy Ghostbusters Day, Greg. I'm rocking my ugly Spuds hockey jersey from Geeky Jerseys to celebrate." Is it Ghostbusters?
Thank you,
It is
Kento.
Ghostbusters Day.
That's awesome.
Did
Nobody tell the Ghostbusters that Summer Game Fest was going to kick off today?
I know.
well, maybe there's a.
You're gonna be on stage.
No. They actually already put out a trailer for their game coming to Switch, which includes Sam Hain at the end. Pretty fucking dope. But
Okay.
we'll see.
Sami Zayn.
Okay.
No, different Sam Zayn.
Cinemaniac, thank you for that tier 1 sub. Outrun 6017, thank you for that Prime sub for 24 months. Zero Ace 21, thank you for that Prime sub for 44 months. What are you guys?
Penguins with a $2 super chat says 2K24 Greg playable. What's your entrance music?
Now, here's the thing about this. I've said this before, ladies and gentlemen. I will say it again. Of course, tomorrow in WWE 2K23, my manager card gets added for This Is Awesome. I will have a code for it. You have to unlock it in the game if you have the This Is Awesome card pack. You have to beat somebody. You have to beat the Miz with somebody from that pack. But we'll have a code that I can give out, and you can get it that way. But when it goes up and we talk about it tomorrow, you all need to be tweeting and tagging WWE 2K Games. Check that before you do. Maybe WWE Games. Because the goal this isn't the end. This is just the beginning. We want to be in My Rise next year. I want to be backstage. You come back and it's Greg Miller. And I'm like,
you're an NPC?
yo, I hear you think you're pretty awesome, but I'm the judge of all things awesome. So get out there and have a 5-star match against the whoever. I
Oh,
don't know.
cool.
Yeah.
And if your match is good enough, you'll be in my episode. Oh man,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
That's bravo,
yeah.
bravo.
That'd be great.
So we need to prove to 2K and WWE that there is an audience that wants that kind of shit in their video game. Then the goal beyond that, of course, is to, I need to get on TV before I'm a manager to be wrestled with out there.
Yeah.
But the goal beyond that is they see that, they put me in the My Rise storyline. Then I give Xavier the Woods the old fucking boot. I'm the host of the game next year.
Oh shit.
Where I'm like, let me walk you through how My Rise works. Da-da-da. I think he did this year. He did a great job at it. But
Did a great job.
I don't know if you know this, Nick. I will slit Jen's throat and step on her body to get somewhere in this industry. So if you think for a second I give a shit about Xavier Woods.
Wow.
Don't put my face on that one.
Same way about you.
Oh my!
Oh, Mike doesn't want. You don't want to. You don't
don't
want
want
to
to be. I don't want to be next. to him.
Anything it takes to hit the next rung of the ladder. All right?
I respect.
Do you
that.
understand that?
Yeah, yeah.
You think I want to be here with you kind of people the rest of my life?
No, you don't.
I don't know. I don't like the
Mike's like,
term
can you
you
censor
kind
my
of people.
face out?
Al Pacino was at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
was.
How come you're at the-
Why wasn't I there backstage
It's like
hanging
the
out?
best
Great
Al
question.
Pacino right
Yeah.
now.
Hoo-ah! Get a nice ass.
Oh wow, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna kick this off in just under an hour. But I do want some more predictions from you guys out there.
I had a donut. I'm sorry if I'm a little unruly.
Hell yeah!
We had a
I had two.
I just saw a $10 super chat scroll by. You might want to refresh, Nick, because the super chats
I have one
require you to refresh a lot, unfortunately.
He's live on the chat.
I'm live on the chat. Art has super chatted with $10 and says, "What does Final Fantasy 16 have to do to secure Game of the Year?" in your opinion?"
Roman
That was a
numerals
lot.
3 there?
That was a lot. It took me there.
Been there, been
What
there.
does that have to do to get Game of the Year in your opinion? How can it possibly blow Zelda,
Jesus.
Diablo, and Street Fighter 6 out of the spot?
I think it's got to just bring it with story and dialogue in a way that no other Final Fantasy has really done. I think it needs to, again, they're going for, this is super Game of Thrones-y. I need crazy twists and turns that I would have never seen. I need a red wedding. I need
Yeah.
I need moments
The story
where,
has to be fantastic.
yeah, the story has to really, really hit. I need to feel like I'm watching an HBO show and not a Square Enix JRPG,
I'm the least gamerish gamer in this office. There's no way anything doesn't beat Zelda this year.
I agree.
It's looking at the reaction that you guys have all had to it, where I've never once, it's like once in a blue moon, I've seen the entire office, just with the exception of Mike. respect. All respect due. Mike's a Diablo guy.
Well, first off,
No, he loves Zelda.
Mike
Mike
loves Zelda. We all love
Mike
Zelda.
is the Diablo guy, though. If I think Diablo, I think.
Hey,
I'm
Mike.
from hell.
Hey, Mike. Do you ever
are
think?
from
Do
hell.
you ever think about the buttons you're pressing when you're playing Diablo?
You like that?
Fucking yesterday he says this on his stream. I'm like, yes, there's a very specific. I'm running a build. I'm doing something. He's just like, I just mashed the buttons.
Yeah,
We had a hardcore stream where we all made hardcore characters. And the things that happen with hardcore characters is if you die, you got to start all over. That character is gone.
That was tough.
And we are, we're all kind of adventuring. We're doing dungeons by ourselves. And Mike likes to do the thing where he just runs off.
Okay. Oh, can
He
we
runs off.
throw the challenge flag out? Throw the
Mike,
challenge
Mike,
flag.
We
sure.
want to hear this. Let him present his case.
Okay.
Mike
present
does,
your case.
Mike does the thing, if you all have watched any piece of content where in real life and in video games, Mike runs off and does his own thing. And he's separated from the pack, and suddenly he goes, I fucking died. I died. And I had to give a eulogy. I was like, maybe you ask your friends for help. Maybe you, just let people know where you're at. Or like, hey, guys, I need some assistance. There's a lot of bad guys. But no, he died, and he had to restart his character.
Look, Andy, as a person who's new to Diablo, it's confusing. And sometimes all of your friends and your
Okay, we're in a
party
part of you.
Now,
the side quest, and you don't
Thank
get
you,
to accept the side
thank
quest. And then your
you.
boy Mike has to die for you so he can come back and help you with
I
Latch Kid.
died for Nick to be able to help him is right.
He died for my sins, like Jesus Christ.
no.
Nick,
That's
Mike,
not true. That
Mike
was just a nice
participated in like
benefit.
7 different betas for this game.
And he's like, he knows Diablo through and through from the other
I'll
games.
tell you all the lore too.
Mike, back to the question. As a Diablo fan, do you feel like it has any chance of dethroning Zelda as Game of the Year?
Final Fantasy or Diablo?
Well, either.
I mean,
anything.
I think we're in a race for number 2. I think we all can agree. I think everybody right now looking at Zelda is like, oh, that's the plain and simple number 1 with the gun. But now we're playing the game of what is number 2? Because there's been a lot of great games out there. And I do think Final Fantasy has a really big chance to become number 2, right? You look at Starfield coming up later on. A lot of praise from Blessing with Street Fighter right now. We talk about Hogwarts Legacy. We talk about Jedi Survivor, right? We talk about Diablo. Like, there's a lot of frontrunners now for who's going to be second place to Zelda. And I think Final Fantasy has the gusto. It looks like it has the gameplay. But as Andy said, really what it will come down to, is it the story? Is it engaging?
Yeah.
And is it fun? Because, Andy, the last Final Fantasy you were playing, I know it's an offsuit, but you were yelling, chaos. Where's chaos?
that
And it
was
was like
different.
some
That
of the
was a different
most
story.
poorly acted stuff around.
That
So
was a different story.
if we get moments like that, though,
Yeah.
in the game, you start to, go, oh, it doesn't have the juice.
That was a different team working on a different offshoot of Final Fantasy. But from the core Final Fantasy games, you expect a higher bar. But also, yeah, it wasn't only Stranger of Paradise's dialogue. It was also the game constantly looked like it was in 720p, and it just looked like shit all the time.
Yeah.
For a second, can we talk about how great Andy looks in this coat?
Looks so good.
Andy, you look dynamite.
I like him because he looks a little like Johnny Lawrence from The Karate
There's
Kid.
that, and there's a little bit of Michael Jackson in it.
A little Michael Jackson. And as we all know, Greg is a huge fan of Michael Jackson.
Go check out the Diablo stream. if you want the
yeah,
truth
yeah,
about Michael Jackson.
Oh,
all
no.
right?
Oh, no.
Andy, do you remember when he was yesterday? He was like, how am I going to work it in? He said that to himself randomly on a stream. No one was talking. Like, we weren't
That
talking
is not
about
what
it.
happened, Kevin. That is
Yeah.
a misrepresentation.
Throw the challenge
I'll
flag.
say this: all the studio was outside of the Let's Play lab, and the Let's Play labs, the lab's door was open, so we could hear a lot of what was happening while you all were kind of getting
Great time.
started. And I heard Greg say, you want to talk about being canceled and stuff, and I just me and Tim kind of audibly went, oh no, like.
I walked everybody through it on the podcast, the Kind of Funny podcast, and then you can see it live on Diablo, where one man's not afraid to speak the truth.
One man.
About all the cowards in the 90s.
One man. Let's keep it moving. Nick, on to the next one.
Marcus Harrison gave us a $5 super chat.
I feel
and
like I'm
said,
doing real well at content lately.
Yeah.
you know?
crushing it.
The
What
coffee,
I
the
liked
donut.
about you is you've got a little bit of an edge to you.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Except when I directed it at you.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I'll
I
say
love it.
this, man. One baseball game, you sit outside for 3 hours, like I'm golden, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm a little bit appealing right here.
Wow.
Like, how are your thighs? Are they still bright red, beet red? Yeah,
No, they're back to pale.
back to pale and red.
Yeah, I did
Back to
well.
the color of an uncooked ham.
Yeah. I did well this week not going back out in the sun because I knew we'd be going to Summer Game Fest.
Yeah.
Didn't want to show up pink, you know what I mean? So I've done well Monday through Thursday. No sunshine on my face so far.
Marcus Howard asked, general off-topic question. Does Greg or anyone else wear a novelty or nerd shirt under a suit and tie, excluding a wedding, of course?
What do you got underneath that?
I think he means like the
Ghostbusters
Phil
on there?
Spencer.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I
Shit
was
like
thinking
that.
more like if you unbutton
No,
this,
Kevin
you
says
would have
no.
the Superman.
That's bullshit,
Go
Jeff
like
Keighley.
that.
That's bullshit, Jeff
Kevin
Keighley.
and Jeff Keighley say no.
There's definitely
That's-
going to be a dev on stage.
Yes, 100%.
With a suit jacket
Yeah.
and underneath a graphic tee. That's the dev thing. That's what I wore when I announced party mode at Kind of Funny Live 3.
But you did it for the lols. You knew what you were doing.
I mean, yeah, that's the game dev thing. That's why, like, Greg, can we talk about this? Like,
Let's
Talk about it, bro.
look, I know that we're all about like, hey, we need to be more presentable as an industry.
Yeah.
But I fucking can't stand fashion gatekeepers on the like in the games industry. Whenever I see fashion gatekeeping shit pop up and be like, dress better, y'all. It's like, fuck you, dude. Go fuck yourself.
There's a reason you're not at the Game Awards and you're on the outside throwing stones.
Exactly.
Yeah, not like us.
I think you meant you.
No.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate what Andy's saying here. There is
Yeah.
always a discrepancy.
It
The
just-
people
it's so
who
hard
dress
with Greg.
like
No
to the nines for Game Awards and the developers who show up in their shirt. That is their game. But you understand, of course, that they want to promote their game. They're excited to be there. They're representing their game. Many of our friends who I won't name names, I show up in their game shirts. I'm like, I get it. I understand what you're up to. I don't have a game to promote because I'm just some moron clown. You know what I mean? I'm trying to dress up so I don't get mocked on the internet.
Remember that time I took you to buy Levi's and it almost ended our friendship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even that. Remember, it was suits too. Like, we got to go back out and get suits again.
I'd love to take
Miguel
you out there.
My
Rosales.
up at noon suits are finally giving up the ghost.
Wait,
I'd
This
like
is a new
those
coat.
blazers you're wearing.
This is I've bought a series of new blazers.
I think we carve out a budget for you. We go get you a few suits and we dress it up.
Can I talk a little bit to Mike here? But it's
Yeah, of
everybody.
course you may.
You want to know what theme we decided on? Because yesterday on the what are you going to wear, Greg? I was like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm going to wear the suits for SGF. You're like, that's a little too far. I don't like that one.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
this looks nice.
well, I don't mean the stream.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is different.
Uh-huh.
This is also there's a whole thing here in timing. But what I decided on last night, stick with me because it's going to change. Last night I looked at my clean sweatshirts. I'm like, you know what? I do love how I look in a crew neck sweatshirt. Maybe I'll rock the Mizzou one and the Deadly Class sweatshirt. I like those and I think they photograph well. This morning when I went to pack, so I looked through, I was grabbing my coats for this reaction and the Xbox reaction. Looked in there and I saw a couple collared shirts with all over prints. And I was like, you know what? That's the theme. Of
I love
SGF.
that.
So I got some collared shirts and all
okay.
over prints to wear.
I like that.
That's what I bought at Kohl's today. Shout out to Kohl's.
Look at that.
Yep.
You went to Kohl's today?
This
What
morning
time they open?
at 9 a.m.
wow.
We were there right when it opened, me and Roger.
I wanted to call Miguel Rosales' comment who says, I just got 6 ads in a row, LOL. That's why you want to be subscribed, everybody.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess
you
it's that
don't-
thing you
Twitch
don't
loves
understand.
running
If you don't have $5, use your Prime if you have Prime available so you don't get ads during any of these next several presentations. There's going to be a lot of them. We're going to be doing all of these reactions to not only this, but the Xbox conference, to Ubisoft, to Capcom. We're always going to be here doing these watch-alongs, and you don't want to get interrupted by fucking Belvita breakfast biscuit.
Yes,
you
and
love
Billie
the middle
Eilish
of a
talking
big
about Photoshop.
presentation.
Yeah, yeah.
How dare you? Chair okay?
Yeah, I just didn't like that you could see my cool Daisy shorts, but like, and you know.
Ryan W gave us a $5 super chat. Said, call with Uncle Pete Hines before the Xbox show? Question mark. Remember?
I guess you have
self-care.
to tune in on Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a Sunday thing.
All right, that's a Sunday thing.
Remember, we'll be so tired.
Dwaj says, who can hold their breath longest? Question mark. I'm gonna guess Andy.
No.
He's good at everything.
I got asthma.
Only one way to find out.
Oof. That's a
You got a
tough-
timer, Kevin? Can you
I love
bring
that
up a timer?
Kevin laughed at that. Kevin loved that question.
No, I, just
I
like
think
the
we've done
idea-
it before.
I
that's
love
why.
the idea of it
definitely
just being
have.
silent for like a minute and a half.
Andy, that's what I was laughing at. That's what I was laughing
Like people tune in, like, what's going on here? Just nobody's talking.
No, I don't think you need a timer for it. I think you could all just hold your breath simultaneously and see who
I'm gonna
holds
say
it
it's
longest.
definitely not me. My cardio is bullshit right now. Marcus gave us a follow-up question on that. Said, sorry, as an undershirt to a dress shirt. Marcus, no, you don't want to do that as an undershirt to a dress shirt because it'll show through, unless the dress shirt is dark enough. But most of the time, like a Greg shirt like that, if you had a print graphic underneath that,
No,
it
you
would
get like
show.
a
do that.
white.
You can't do
You
that.
want to
You
get like a
got to
white
do
plain
something
tee.
simple like that.
Hello, how are you?
What's
I'm
great?
sorry. Greg has to take a call.
Doing important shit right now.
He's got busy stuff.
I feel like he's calling Keeley right now and be like, "Hey, how was the Flash?"
Oof.
How was the Flash
Did he
movie?
see it?
Well, the running thing is that like Keely's just been ignoring all of Greg's DMs because Greg's annoying. So Greg DM'd him. What did you think of the Flash movie? Because Keely said that he saw it early, and it was left on red. So then Greg was like, "I'm turning this into a thing." Then, so anytime some news article would happen, Greg would be like, "Oh, that's interesting, but how's the Flash?"
You know, the thing
all the
is
DMs
this.
are just him DMing Keely not responding. It's great.
The thing is this, folks. I know why people don't like it.
I get it.
I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
And I understand. But does Greg know? Does he understand the erosion of trust in this relationship between him and Jeff? Does he get it?
He doesn't.
Well, one
Does
day.
the wall have damaged pixels? No. What you're seeing is like where the wall where there's a.
No, I think it does look like there's a little, like, right above Mike's shoulder to the right, maybe a foot, and then up too. It looks like there's like maybe 10 or 15.
Yeah, there's
I
a
gotta
little
go
line of that.
massage. I gotta go
Oh,
massage
that!
it.
I
gotta
thought you
go
were talking
push
about the
him in a little
line, which is like
No,
these
yeah,
are
yeah.
the wall segments.
No,
think
some of the
that's what
wall
we're
segments are
talking
there, yeah. But no, I think there's a little line of green up there.
I've been
Waste of
thinking about it a
bandwidth
lot.
gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you for that, guys.
I think
Alex,
you wasted bandwidth.
oh, I lost it. Alex Figueroa with a $5 super chat said, "What is one of the best reveals / moments you guys think more casual audiences will be talking about going into the weekend?" Reveals / moments.
Again, I think we kind of talked about tempering our expectations. Then I was like, you know what? I think this might be a 4 out of 5 on the kind of funny scale. I've been brought down a bit in the past couple of days, and I think I agree with you all that it will likely be an okay conference.
2 hours is so long.
It's so long. There's gonna be a lot of padding of games that won't really resonate with us, and there's always an audience for these games. So like, it's never to shit talk the game, right?
Of course not.
But I do hope that we get a couple of surprises, because like one thing I do love about Keely's conferences is Keely will often see a random indie game on Twitter, and it pops off, and it's like some random dev saying, "Here's this thing I'm working on." Keely has often hit these devs up and be like, "Can you prep something for Summer Game Fest?" So I'm hoping we see some unknown titles that they don't have to be these big budget AAA shit that we go, "Oh my god, they're bringing that game back." I just want to see cool, interesting stuff, and I think because it is that long, that there's got to be some reason you're filling up all that time.
I had to take a phone call there, and I apologize, but it was pretty important because it means that I can add this to my outfit, Mike.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Now,
don't know if that's showing right
well,
now
there
for
we go.
everybody, but I
Can
see
you move
it.
your mic here?
Yeah, can you move your
a
mic
little
just
there,
a
Greg,
little
so
Well,
you
bit?
can see what you're adding to
let's
your-
let him
oh,
put it on first.
I can't get through that.
Okay,
you know?
well, Greg can never get it.
That you know.
I'm gonna fucking beat your ass.
I hope you
All right?
come at me.
I've had
I hope you
I've had
come
an
at me.
espresso and now a Krispy Kreme and then a donut, and I'm fucking ready.
Why don't you
All
have another
right?
Coca-Cola to talk about WWE?
What did you
more?
say to me, Kevin?
I said that's too many sweets, Greg.
I know, Kevin. Why do you think I'm like this right now?
You're
love
gonna come
sweets.
down
I feel like
really
a bee
hard.
moving real fast.
Can't see it.
Daniel Bland.
It's a Kojima logo.
It's a Kojima Productions logo.
Oh.
And of course, when you talk about the
Big old
general
HK
audience and
just
what
hit
they
me
will
up.
opt for,
Oh yeah.
you know, with that question, of course, I think a superhero game will definitely make people pop. A cyberpunk DLC will make the general
I'm stoked
audience
Uh,
for that.
pop for sure.
Matt D with the $5 super chat
Hideo.
says, chances we see any gameplay for Wonder Woman today.
We fucking better. And I don't mean we really. I mean, I would love that. I would adore that. What? Am I presenting?
Yeah, it's
I'm
what's that?
presenting. I'm on right now.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's good.
I would love to see Wonder Woman. Obviously, I'm desperate for a DC game where I'm not the fucking bad guy or some other lower tier DC hero. So yeah, I would be stoked to see that. Is it the right time? Has enough time passed? When are they shooting for? I don't know any of those answers. I think it would be really cool though, and I think WB DC arm could use that boost in the arm, right? After what we've seen from the delay of Suicide Squad, the release of Gotham Knights, right? Like I really feel they could use a win. And I think if you came out and had a Wonder Woman game that looked great and actually was a superhero game, that could be awesome. I just wonder if it's ready for prime time after, we got that teaser trailer, which was just shots of her whipping her lasso and doing her Wonder Woman stuff, right? I don't believe necessarily that game's that far along.
Gotcha. I had one more. Oh, Darth Doobie, I'm sorry, I did not see your super chat. If you want to throw it in here, please do. That'd be great. Or also I can go look at it in the back end. Jake Stepp said after
Falcon says Wonder Woman, but you only play as Steve Trevor.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Jake Stepp asked a great question. After the critical and commercial success of the Gollum game, do you think that a Jar Jar Binks game will be announced today?
Watto.
It's Watto's time to shine,
It's
but yeah.
Watto's time.
No, you won't get a Jar Jar game.
Do you
today.
think people think about Watto as much as you do, Greg?
No.
It's a crime.
It's one of those things where a lot of people have been angry at both the performance of Anakin Skywalker across the board in the original trilogy, and then, of course, just the direction of George Lucas.
Sure.
And I feel like that really has soured people on that initial, well, not the initial trilogy, but you know what I mean, the prequel trilogy. And so that has led to Watto really being cast out. And so it's one of those things, like, don't get me wrong, it's great that the Jar Jar Binks actor has had his second chance. You know, a
I'm
Jedi.
at best. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm at best. You know, on both the little show he did with Scott Bromley, of course, and then of course his spoilers, I guess, you know, cameo and the old Mandalorian there. That's great. But what we're really talking about when we want to talk about somebody who's been thrown out, you know, been Oscar the Grouched, a second-class citizen of Tatooine. We're talking about Watto.
Yeah.
And the fact that nothing's been done with Watto.
It's unbelievable.
And also the
Sitting
fact
on
that
gold.
I personally find it an affront and an insult from John Drake that at Galaxy's Edge you can buy little plush Wattos. Because they're admitting that there's an audience that loves
so
Watto.
they're willing to make money off of that. But
Sure.
Not, yeah. Exactly.
on the back of this man who has not had his redemption, from the prequels.
Been done dirty.
It sucks to see. You know what I mean?
Well, it's hard to be on his back too because he has
So
the
small,
wings.
he's got those little wings.
Yeah,
Can't fly.
tough. tough.
You never really seen him walking around. Now that I think of it,
It's true. I don't even think he has feet.
He has feet. I can confirm.
Oh,
he has
does he?
feet.
his feet are
Can't
too. Yeah,
confirm.
his legs are too weak to hold him up.
That's true. He flies all the time. Very strong wings, very weak legs.
Slug Snacks, thank you for that gifted tier 1 subs to the community. Thank you all for all your Prime subs, guys. Are going by really fast. I'm not seeing all of them, but I do want to shout out a couple. Like, hey, peace, love. Thank you for that Prime sub for 15 months. And let's see. Sylvis the Slayer has subscribed with Prime and says 50 months with the best friends. Looking forward to Summer Games Fest. Darth Doobie, there it is. And just saying thank you for helping me out through the past couple months. I got the news today. My mom has had cancer, and I got the news that my mom had cancer and that your VODs and live shows have helped me and cheered me up. This week I got the news she's cancer-free.
Nay!
And I wanted to share those great news with you guys. I know a lot of chat saw it earlier this week. Y'all are awesome and help so much. Hey, Darth Doobie,
That's awesome.
That's great news.
That's a great
Congratulations to you
piece of
and your
news to
mom.
celebrate today, along with everything else that we're celebrating, which is great.
Glad we could be there for you.
Let's see. Tejas0330 just says hello with a Prime sub for 4 months. Olive Party. $5 super chat says over under 3.5. New VR games shown.
Under
How many did he say?
3.5.
3.5.
Oof. Yeah, I'd go under. Yeah, 3 sounds reasonable.
Mike, what say you?
I'll stick with the under.
He's going to stick with the under.
I mean,
It's in a
hopefully,
PlayStation showcase, you know what I mean?
hopefully none. If I have anything to say about it.
You
Haley,
don't.
I'm looking at you, man. Do the right thing.
Alaka Champ gave us a $5 super chat and said, I know this is more of a Tim question, but do you guys think we get the Final Fantasy 16 demo dropping today? They're almost out of time.
I do. That's got to happen. We've talked about it. They've said it's going to happen. Why not do it today? You know, the big rumor right now out there is that remake going to have some stuff happening over there. Final Fantasy 7. I was listening to games the other day, listening to them be all goofy about it. So, yeah, I think you could have a little rock block there, Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah, I think they kind of go back to back and talk about, hey, I know we've been teasing a lot of, I don't know what order they do it in.
Sure. Well, I think you go 16 first, then the demo, and then you talk about remake.
Yeah.
Let's see what the survey says. Yes, it's going to happen.
Praise
love
be,
it.
Keely.
It's going to happen.
Is this based on votes or just what Kevin thinks?
That's pretty much just what I want.
It's just the AI.
Oh, okay.
It's what Vegas is voting on right now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
What's
a
the
whole
odds?
algorithm. We programmed
These
it
are
on the dark
Vegas
web.
odds makers.
Yeah. Myron Bix says just subscribe with Prime for 22 months and says Summer Game Fest. Woo! Frankenstein has subscribed and said, here's support for the Summer Games Fest mess. Here's support for all the Summer Game Mess content. Appreciate that.
Thank you very much. That means a lot to us.
It does mean a lot to us. Let's see. Ballers gave us a $2 super chat and said, I am Klaus. I don't know what that means.
Tyler Auden asks, where's Tim? Tim is on break right now, much like me and Mike are going to be, and Greg too.
At
We're
some
gonna go on
point.
break here in a little bit.
Yeah, in a little bit.
Should
You guys
I
got
put
Get a
that
little
on?
food break.
What's that?
Maybe I'll dress up. I don't know. Y'all look
You
so
gotta put-
good.
well, you have to do a fashion show at
I mean,
some
Tim's
point.
wearing a
to fill
blazer
that
too.
bar.
Blessing always looks good,
Yeah.
No, well, Blessing's got his Iron Man hoodie on.
but he always looks good.
Mike, why don't you match his hoodie with that?
Blessing
hideous
could put on a
Diablo hoodie
potato
you have?
sack and he would look good. You're welcome.
I told you, Nick, how much, and I'll wear it all.
But
I give you $200. You wear that damn. You don't take that thing off once during Summer Games Fest. I want it disgusting when you come back. I want it to smell like the underside of a dumpster.
Yes. All right, I'll be right back then.
Okay.
All right, go have fun.
Enjoy yourself.
Go have
Joey
fun.
beat Diablo 4? What the fuck? You can beat Diablo 4?
She beat the
I don't know
story.
you
Yeah,
could do
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Blessing, come here,
Random
man.
Black Weeb. Thank you for that 5 gifted tier 1 subs to the community, as well as OMGLX. Thank you for those 5.
I haven't told
tier
you
1
yet,
subs. Appreciate
But
that.
you're going to be in a video game. All right. And this is what your little guy looks like.
Oh my god.
All right.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. Nick, we'd love to have you, but instead they put Johnny Ace in. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, he's better. He's a better man.
Fair enough.
Understandable.
WB Buck gave us a $5 super chat. Said, "Hey y'all, do we think we get
notes?
that announced Fallout 4 Xbox optimization package?"
Like I don't have hair there.
Oh, see,
I think it's
at the
based
end,
on that
I
old
couldn't hear
photo.
you, Greg.
Yeah,
I couldn't hear you, Nick.
That's all good. He said, "Do we think we get the announced Fallout 4 Xbox optimization package, which includes DLC, mod content, shadow dropped today or Sunday? Do you think you see any Fallout 4 stuff, Andy?"
Ooh. I could see them doing something like that, especially because I think the only Bethesda news will be Starfield. Crazy that they just kind of dropped an Elder Scrolls 6 logo a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I still think about that. It's kind of wild. Yeah. Many years ago. Yeah, I could see that. I could see them dropping some sort of hey, you could do mods on Xbox now. Come download whatever these visual packages are, you know.
What's happening here, Blessing?
I like the ring.
Oh, I like the ring too. I don't know why we got rid of the ring.
I mean, I think
I need the ring.
when Bear gives the ring to the shorter
I didn't get a ring.
You did great, Barrett. Don't worry about
A
it.
little behind the little pull the curtain aside for everyone out there.
No!
Sometimes I like to cosplay as a short person.
Yeah, me too. It's like called
What is it? An average height, above average?
Above average guy. Yeah.
Nice. I like that a lot. I'll never remember for some reason, but
I mean, it's a long acronym.
but I
I've
mean, I have
never-
like the half done. I actually have like
You're
3/4.
You're 4/5 of the way there.
Blessing, I thought of you and Andy the other day. I saw another news story that said the average height of Americans. And
I'm afraid of Americans.
read through it, skimmed through it. It said 5'9". I said fake news.
Yeah,
Fake news.
that's fake.
Everyone knows what fake news is. I know when I see it.
And also, like, that's America. Like,
Yep,
let's start
great
looking
point.
into other countries.
Great
Yeah,
point.
You know
I
what I mean?
understand. This is a world.
We're a world,
We're
yeah.
a world economy.
We are the
Exactly.
world.
There are plenty of countries where I'm an inch taller than the average height.
You would dominate in a lot of countries. I just want you
Thank
to
you.
know that.
Also, think about
Italy,
the
very
year.
short people.
Think about the year.
That's true.
In the 1700s, Blessing's tall.
I'm super tall in the 1700s.
You ever go in one of those old castles and go, wow, people were just so short
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
The stairways like this.
Hit my head on the top of the
everywhere.
door frame.
It's
That
nice.
dominate, yeah.
It's really unfortunate for Europe. Let's see. AK gave us $10 super chat. Said, just wanted to thank Greg and the whole KF crew for the many years of great podcasting, especially through the pandemic. Been a long fan since Podcast Beyond episode 21, November
Wow.
2007.
21.
Yeah.
What about that one brought you in? I want to know. And I'll look at the chat. What was the name?
AK.
Okay,
on
I
YouTube.
need to know why on YouTube. What about that episode brought you in? What was the topic that you're like, I got to listen to this? And you popped in to hear me and Roper yelling at Clemens.
John Reyes gave us a $5 super chat. Said, Andy, how long until Wemby takes the Spurs to the playoffs?
Wendy.
How long until they win the chip?
This year, they were winning it all.
Wow.
Guaranteed.
Okay.
Book
I
it.
disagree.
Oh, he disagrees.
What does Jeff Keighley think?
What do you think of the Flash, Greg?
So somebody out in chat said, "What is the average height in Nigeria?" Looked it up. For men, according to Wikipedia, 5'6". 5'6". Yeah, let's fucking go. Let's like a
bro.
win,
Road
a
trip.
W. Let's
Road
go.
trip for
Take
that
me
dub.
home, country roads.
I'll take it.
West Nigeria, where I belong.
Iman in DC says,
You kept stretching, but you got there.
Iman in DC over on YouTube asked, Mass Effect or Dragon Age news today?
I'm hoping for Dragon Age. I don't think we see Mass Effect for a while.
Dragon Age, I think, is very possible. Very likely. Again, EA didn't have their own EA Play this year. They didn't think they had enough ready, but that just, you run down their list of games and what isn't ready, right? You talk about Skate, you talk about whatever the Star Wars projects are, you talk about et cetera, et cetera. I think, yeah, this makes sense that if you had more Dragon Age talk about, you would talk about it here.
I think if you had Mass Effect to talk about, that would be at an EA Play where it feels more like this is the EA community. Hey, and here's an
Sure.
update on what we're doing with Mass Effect. Like
Yeah.
that. I could see that working. I don't really see that working in this sort of presentation.
Mm.
But also, I just think Mass Effect is far away. And then the news came out yesterday that they were moving a lot of people off of. They're giving Star Wars: The Old Republic to a different team, and they are moving all of that Austin office to work on Dragon Age and Mass Effect.
Now it's almost 11:47. Do you guys want to eat? Because I imagine we probably want to be live by like 11:55 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you guys want to take a break for a little bit?
I can hang out with Nick.
Folks, we are going to round out our predictions segment with just me and Blessing. I actually do have a question for you, Blessing. Doing
What's up?
okay. Gave us $5 to have over 30 kind of funny, kind of feudy prompt suggestions. Where can I send those?
That's a good question. Usually in the kind of feudy, the questionnaire that I put out, the last question a lot of time is if you have a prompt, submit it.
Mhm.
But if you have 30, You can DM me on Twitter. My DMs are open.
There you go.
Yeah, I barely ever respond because it's a lot of work, but and a lot of them are mean. But you can come in, drop the 30, and yeah, like if they're good ones, I'll include them in there.
Perfect. I hosted Kind of Feudy the other day.
How was
Thanks
that? I
to
never got to listen to the episode.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
It was a lot of
Hell
fun.
yeah.
There's moments in it where you kind of made notes that I think were for yourself that I got to, and I was like, this makes a lot of sense. For instance, one of the categories I think only had 4. I think it was the Pac-Man thing. You're like, this only had 4, but I'm like, this will be fun. And then, anytime I get to step into someone else's shoes in this office and just lay down the law, that was fun for me.
I heard about the New Vegas thing.
What would you have done there?
I would have given them the point.
Okay, well,
but also, like, it's up to the host.
Never admit that to Andy or it's him or whoever.
That's the thing. It's Andy. Wasn't it Andy or was it? Yeah, it was Andy, right?
It was Andy.
But it's Andy.
That's fair.
So clear your brain right now. Andy's winning.
Yeah.
And he says, New Vegas. No, he said Las Vegas, right?
He said Las Vegas.
He said Las Vegas.
And the answer I've written down is New Vegas.
New Vegas. Yeah.
I mean, I probably would have given it to him.
Okay.
But also, like, I think Nick Scarpino, no, don't
Absolutely
do it.
not.
Don't give
Absolutely
it to him.
not.
Yeah.
I hold Andy to a lower standard than that.
Because I view like a special guest referee. Like, when you're watching a WWE event and they're having Stone Cold ref a match between
He
The
might have
Rock.
gotten it wrong, but he's
and
the
it's like
guest.
it's about the personality. It's about what you bring into the match as the referee in that moment. And like in that moment, Andy's giving the wrong answer, and you got to lay down the law.
It's just what's in
You got to
there?
show him what's up.
What's in
He
there?
didn't. Who won then?
I think Greg.
Was it
Who
Greg?
was on that? I think Greg won that, right?
I think it was Greg, Andy, and Roger.
Yes.
It was either Greg or Roger. That's for sure.
Roger
Randy
never
lost.
wins, so it must have been Greg.
Huh.
Yeah, Roger never lost.
I cannot remember. Honestly, I cannot remember.
That's Roger's canon event. Is that he'll never win Kind of Feudy.
I don't think I've ever won one either, but I've only done like 3.
Oh yeah,
So-
no, Roger's done a lot of them.
Has he?
And he's never won one.
Man, he started off with something that was just terrible. Just god awful answer.
Well, that's the beauty. But then also, the notes I put in there were like usually I don't put notes for myself. I put them in for you, especially because I fucked up quite a bit in
That's
this last
great.
questionnaire.
That's perfect.
Where I did have the Pac-Man thing, and it works both ways because usually I am thinking of questions that have at least 5 answers. Like that is the goal. I just forgot that Pac-Man only had 4 ghosts.
I mean, who would know? I wouldn't know that.
But
I would
at least that fun thing
10
of
ghosts in Pac-Man.
I forget what the 5th answer is, but at least the fun thing of
It was Bluey. I think Bluey was one of the answers.
yeah,
that
I think
was,
Bluey might have been the fake one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that enough people wrote in with. So that's the fun thing is, what is the bullshit that people are going to write in,
Yeah.
and can they guess the bullshit?
Yeah.
It happened.
Pinky, Blinky, and Clyde.
There you go.
Pinky.
It happened in the last episode where one of the questions I had, which again I fucked up, was name a Mortal Kombat game that came out on the PS2. Turns out only 4 Mortal Kombat games came out on the PS2.
I love that
I
for you.
totally thought the Mortal Kombat versus DC game was on PS2. And so what happened? Greg Miller guesses Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which wasn't a game, it was a movie. That was the 10-point answer.
Oh my god.
And so you have special moments like that where the audience fucks up,
It
but
just
also,
worked out.
yeah, like our panel of
That's
hosts
how Mike
are
won
idiots.
once, right?
Yeah, like Mike guessed Final Fantasy 1 for
PS1
Kind of Feudy.
or,
For
PS
a Super Nintendo Final Fantasy game or a Square Enix game. And
Now,
yeah, that wasn't the right answer.
Another question I had for you before we bring Tim back to the stage. You want to sit here?
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah. What do you come down on the franchises where it's like you had one that was like name a game that's like top best open world RPG or best open world game ever.
Yeah.
And then a couple of them were like one was like Grand Theft Auto 4 or 3. But then it's like, do you give them that point on
It
that?
depends. It's very case by case. If
So
I'm
if it's Andy, you don't give them the point.
if it's Andy, I don't give them points.
That makes
exactly.
a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I respect that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. Oh, wait, where did Tim go? How did I lose Tim?
He's
wearing like
here.
urban camouflage in this with this flowery outfit that he's wearing. Although he does match the background very, very well.
Do you watch these, by the way? Like when this showcase is going on, are you watching any of the other?
Sometimes, yeah, depending on what I got to do. We got a long week next week. I'm filling in for a lot of different things, so I got to prep some of that stuff. But I'll probably stick around for a little bit and watch this.
Yeah. Hell
It's
yeah,
fun
dude.
for me. It's fun for me to watch you guys get hyped up about stuff. And then every once in a while, there are games that I'm like, oh, that's cool. I would definitely play that. And so I kind of earmark those. But yeah,
Are you
for the
playing
most
anything currently? Or did you play Jedi Survivor?
I'm currently playing Jedi Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on like Planet 3. I think I just got to like the 3rd world that you're supposed to
Hell
go
yeah.
to. So yeah, it's really, really fun. Loving it. Next week, spoilers, guys. If we fill, I think 5 more or 6 more of those bars, if you guys help us fill those today in and amongst all of our Summer Game Fest content, we're going to do my first playthrough of the new Zelda game, which is going to be really, really fun. And we're going to have some fun in that. Maybe there's some karaoke. Maybe we're going to do some cooking. Who knows? Stick around. We want to get to that as soon as
Are
possible
you
because
going to make some dubious food, Nick?
we might make some. We have a great idea for that, and I don't want to spoil it for everyone. But yeah, some of the shit's gonna be dubious, and by dubious I mean Dubious. Tim, would you like to come take the commander chair? Thank you guys so much for joining us. Remember, please subscribe. Please subscribe to us over on YouTube as well. Bye.
Commander in chair. That's good. I like it.
By the way, I heard that Blessing would have given it to me for New Vegas.
I don't know. He said he left it to the ref.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't recall answering that question. I plead the fifth.
He had already told me how he felt in his heart.
I plead the fifth. Oh god, I lost. It was a super chat that was asking something about me and Tim. I already lost it. I just have this Wikipedia page pulled up of the average human height by country. That's what happens when we leave me and Nick alone.
Man, bless. I was hanging out with one of G's friends who's recently single, and hearing the female perspective on the struggles of dating apps, very different than the male perspective that I've gotten from y'all. And y'all are just at odds with each other.
Oh yeah.
It's just an eternal war.
It's funny. I was hanging out with a friend last night, and we were talking about Hinge, and I had mentioned that I had bought like a 3-month membership to Hinge, and she was like, "Oh, what does that do?" And I'm like, "Oh, it gives you unlimited likes."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You can run out of likes on Hinge," and I'm like, "You only get like 8 per day." Like, yeah, you run out of likes, and she's like, "Why don't you just go to the section where it says who's liked you and just like all the ones that liked you already?" And I'm like, I am a man. Yeah. I'm never flooded with people liking my profile.
I'm here, and this girl's saying that she pays for Hinge because it allows you to then set the height parameters.
My friend, one of my close friends does that. Yeah,
that just feels evil. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, there's just no men. It's not even finding anybody." It's like, "What are your height parameters?" Over 6'5", Andy Cortez is what she put, and she's like, "Yeah, no, I had to go all the way down." What's all the way down mean? 6'1".
Yep. It's
wild out there.
Heinous, but also you gotta play the game. You know, do your thing. We're already here. You know, we're already on this dystopian side of things. And so what do?
It's all about the game.
I sort by 5'1" and down.
Like 5'1" and down.
I can fight back. I gotta fight back somehow. Tim. I gotta do something.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm looking for a shorty, literally.
Alrighty, on the tech side of things, I think we're ready to switch streams here for the YouTube kids over on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Tim, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really damn good.
Alrighty, I'm going to put us on standby for just a minute, and we're going to switch streams. YouTube kids, you probably know where to find the next stream, and then hopefully when this stream ends, it'll just kick you over to that one. So we'll see y'all in just a minute.